Welcome to episode 11 of the Red Leaf Retrocast, the actual Retrocast. We've made it to yet another episode, and God, being an adult is terrible, isn't it, Kevin?
I hate it. I have no free time. I want to cry, but I only cry on the inside now. That's the difference.
Well, I
being
mean,
an
at
adult.
least you are still unemployed, or not unemployed, employed. You are employed. You have a job, right?
I've had a job. It's just being a union electrician means you're going to be sitting for a couple weeks here and there. And right now, I'm missing those times because I want to play games. It's a shame, but I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm alive.
Well, I was laid off my job last month.
Yeah, how's that? Well, I mean, I don't want to say how's that going, but I know you're on the rebound. To update me on your life, it's been a while.
Well, now that it's officially fall, hopefully the arguably the worst summer of my life can come to an end.
Yeah, but it's as good as you make it.
Because certain things are finally over. I went through a case of identity fraud.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Then I went through a case of bank fraud.
You've had quite a while.
Then there was bank theft.
Like they stole your bank?
So a guy in the fraud department, when dealing with the case, decided to, I guess he felt left out and decided to steal all of my money.
Oh, I didn't know
I got everything back, but, it took a while.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Then I was, in the middle of all that, I was warned I could be laid off from my job.
Jeez.
And then just when I thought it was safe, and I was like, okay, well, I have vacation coming up. 2 days before I went on vacation, my paid vacation in Aruba, I get a call saying, just regular weekly meeting, no anticipation, HR is on the line. It's like, oh no. We have decided to cut ties with you and lay you off, and there's just no more work in Canada. So,
great.
Went on vacation 2 days later. So I was like, great. This won't be stressful at all.
They still paid for your vacation, right?
So the way it works is I was given a severance package, and any unused vacation, I would get basically reimbursed for it. Or imbursed for it, not reimbursed. So it still was a paid vacation when you think about it.
Yeah, it's just like a different... Man, that sucks.
Yeah, so, and because I'm on a work visa in Canada, if you're on a work visa, you can stay in the country for as long as the visa is valid.
Which means as long as you're working, I assume?
But the way work visas generally work most of the time is you can only work for that singular company doing that specific job title that's on the visa.
And if you do anything else...
you have to go through the whole visa process again, and that could take anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months. There's a lot of legal things involved, but basically I have to leave Canada, and after much deliberation, I've decided to move to Rhode Island.
Yay, you're only a little while from me.
Which is kind of near to Connecticut.
Yeah, you know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If it's if we do this podcast more often now, I could definitely just road trip out to you one weekend for a day or two.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't mind that. At least once a month, for sure.
I'm sure we could make something work. Logistics, man. We can make it work.
Yeah, I got no issue. It'd be cool.
Yeah, my buddy actually, his grandparents are in Block Island, which is part of Rhode Island. So, I mean, I go there. I can meet up and be like, yo, come get the drinks with us.
Oh, man. Does your buddy play retro games?
He's one of those, like, if I remember it from my childhood kind of things. But if he doesn't know what it is, he's like, I'm not touching that. I only know the Donkey Kongs and the Pokemon. It's like he's one of those people that, like, Gen 1 and 2 a Pokemon, and that is it. I'm like, no, there's more.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because we're doing a lot of these two-person casts, it seems, when it's not going to be a special guest.
Mm-hmm.
So we might need to get an emergency person.
I know people, don't get me wrong.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
let's ask around, see if we can't get another retro gamer involved for this podcast.
Yes, sir.
Still want you and Josh to be the main guys, but we definitely need that other wheel.
I'm gonna find my buddy Mikey. He knows. I got him into. It's really like satisfying when you get one of your friends.
Is he near you?
5 minutes away. And,
excellent.
He used to only play like straight Call of Duty and like things he liked from like his childhood. And then as he graduated college, he started like exploring, getting more and more into retro games, and now he's probably got as big a collection as me. So it's like a nice way to get a new take on somebody who's just getting into it and like discovering things and be like, I can't believe I didn't play this.
Oh man, please convince your buddy Mike.
Oh yeah, sure. He just has to not work. He overworks himself to death, and then he wonders why he has no free time.
Oh well.
We can make it work.
I'm sure he can find just a few hours, over the course of a month or 2 weeks to play some games. So that's kind of the direction we're heading in with the Retrocast. In other news, the anime cast of Red Leaf Retrocast is doing quite well. In fact, it's better than this segment now.
Damn.
We just did a podcast episode over the old Mobile Suit Gundam movies.
Oh, my
that cover the series.
Those. I want to watch those.
Yeah, well, maybe you should listen to the podcast.
It's just hard because I don't anime, and I'm like, I don't know these words.
Well, the way we do the podcast is when we go over a show, we discuss it in great detail, and any terms that even a person who hasn't seen the show, we define everything. So.
Oh, so I would know.
Yeah, you would be able to understand.
But JD, if I want to listen to that podcast, where do I go?
Well, you could go to Stitcher Smart Radio, iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, and many other places. Basically any major platform. One popular one that people should probably check out is Overcast. I've even been getting into Overcast a little bit.
Hell's Overcast?
Yeah, exactly. It's unknown, but apparently a lot of people in Europe use it.
Shout out to my Europeans.
Our fan base from France and Spain have been picking up.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. We average about 150 downloads a day these days.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm famous. I didn't even know it. Yo, watch my videos, though, guys.
Yeah, your YouTube channel seems to be...
I don't give a shit about the YouTube channel.
Yeah, but the VidMe's doing well.
I love the VidMe. The YouTube couldn't eat me.
Yeah, VidMe's doing well for me, but I think the whole recording video games and commentating with friends, that might be coming to a close.
No, you just relocate.
Me. Well, I am relocating. That's the thing. I started this thing in Canada because it was the way my job was set up, and had the time. Of course I have the time now. I have to move across a country border.
You can ride solo. Like, there are people that do solo Let's Plays.
I know, but that's not why I started it in the first place.
No, but you'll get to know people in Rhode Island, and then you'll be like,
I know a couple people in Rhode Island. I know somebody in Connecticut.
Hey, I know that guy. It's a dick.
Yeah, so I got videos in the backlog and just throwing them up. And if the time comes when I run out of videos, I run out.
Look, man, I want solo Let's Plays from you. Your channel shall not die.
Well, maybe when I get everything together.
Fine. No,
if there's a big outreach for it.
I will create a GoFundMe on something and then take all the money and run.
The podcast is also found on the YouTube channel Moose and Spiel, just for reference there.
Right.
So the topic that Josh picked, and if the audience hasn't noticed yet, Josh isn't here. He has, he gave us very short notice and can't make it. So it's actually his topic, which was Mecha video games. I was pumped when he said that.
I did love it, and then I realized, just a spoiler, some of these did not age well. But I like them.
It's a common thought with basically the era most of these mecha games came from, and it's definitely a product of the time. We don't really see those anymore. We'll definitely get into more of the mecha genre before we dive into the games. So what you been playing lately?
Well, for the other thing I run game clubs, our game of the month was Army Men 3D on PlayStation. And
What
speaking
is that?
of, you remember those green little plastic army men?
Oh, Army Men 3D.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard something completely different.
Nope, it's that. And it's a third-person shooter, but the controls in it aren't exactly perfect. And
Okay.
you gotta kind of adjust to like what the PlayStation 1 had. Hit detection's a little weird. It's hard, but all the levels could be beaten in 5 minutes. However, the flip side of that is that the levels are also stupid hard. So it's like a little...
Jeez.
Yeah, every level's like a little obstacle course. Basic, like, Sarge, we need to save the blue commander from the tan generic, like, it's literally obstacle course. But at the end of the game, you have to find a supernatural portal in a cemetery, and you go through it, and then the game just ends. And I was like, yeah, that's weird. Okay. Yeah, weird game. It's worth playing for $5 if you ever see it. And since I beat that, I was like, what do I want to play now? And then on my little handheld emulator thing, I started Breath of Fire.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm actually quite excited for you. Have you ever played anything in the Breath of Fire series?
No, but the second I saw Breath of Fire on Virtual Console, I was like, that sounds like a cool-ass RPG. I want to play that. It's really good. I'm playing the Super Nintendo version.
Okay.
I probably should have
I
done Game
didn't-
Boy Advance.
I didn't get into the Breath of Fire series until 3.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people didn't start till like PlayStation.
Yeah, so I'm quite interested in your thoughts. We'll definitely have to go back to that when you've played more.
Yeah, I'm taking it back. I'm playing it mostly on work breaks
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
it's what I can do. I don't want my little emulator to break, so I'm like hiding in a corner while everyone's eating lunch. I'm like, get away from me.
Yeah.
And I have to read a guide because I just want to play it. So I have to like do this weird grip where I'm holding the thing, and then I'm like holding my phone with my palms under it to read the guide. It's a weird setup I got, but I'm making it work.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm cheating.
Yeah, I was doing something like that with Dragon Quest, those games, because sometimes you're like, where the hell do I need to go?
Yeah. And I'm not for getting my handheld in games, but like, at least give me like on the overall big look, go here eventually. I don't care where you go. You want to go find secrets, go ahead. But over here in like a little while, all right, buddy? Thanks.
Yeah, I'm very fond of like, we got that in Beyond Oasis, an X on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make your way there somehow.
Yeah, that's all I need. Just be like, eventually get here.
Yeah. Yeah, because
that's
I'm still trying to. I've seen to only play Dragon Quest V when I'm on like a long trip or something, or I'm away from home. I don't
Oh, so
actually
you're
play
still
it at
playing
home.
it?
I'm still playing it. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've put in maybe 60 hours in that game.
Jeez. You gotta be almost done.
I think I'm like at the 65% part.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna try that, or like the Super Famicom version, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I did have to start over because I went so long without playing it, and it's still just as good the second time around.
I'll have
And
to
I
give it a
didn't-
shot.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like 60 hours because
So
I've
you're-
played it essentially twice.
You're doing the DS version, I assume, then?
Yes,
Yeah, that's expensive.
absolutely. I do have the Super Nintendo version.
It's just so expensive.
It is now.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, emulation. That's how I'm
Well, speaking of
handling that.
not expensive, it's all these mech games except one of them.
I was gonna say, yes, they are. Well, yeah, one, I guess.
Yeah, just one's actually expensive. Everything else I've seen less than $15.
Which worked out for me because I'm a cheap bastard. Real
Yeah,
cheap.
one I had to emulate. That was the only way it was going to happen.
But that's not a bad thing.
No, we've been over that.
Look, man, play the games. Don't care how you do it. But before we do that, should we get into our little discussion about the
Oh, you're not going to ask me what I've been playing?
Listen,
Selfish
you know,
bastard?
I don't give a shit. No, I'm kidding. What are you playing? I've zoned. I'm a jerk. Go ahead.
Well, I've been playing a lot more modern games lately.
This podcast is over. You're a liar. You're a hypocrite. What did you
Well,
like? What?
just launched the Red Leaf Gamecast is what we're
What?
we're officially going to call it now. Yeah, where we talk about it's me and Drew from the last episode of the Retrocast, where once a month we talk about the games that were released the previous month.
Oh.
So we went over all the games released in August, and I played all that I could.
Are you just like going full podcaster now?
I mean, I really enjoy doing it.
I can tell.
I love talking about something I'm very passionate about.
Well, I mean, I was looking in the Discord. I was like, these are new games. Why is JD talking about new games? He doesn't like new games.
I love new games. I still love all the games.
All the games. So what?
Yeah, played all the games in August, pretty much. From
Nice.
Sonic Mania to Uncharted Lost Legacy.
So the one I do want to ask you about, since I saw your list, how did you like Hellblade?
It's not Game of the Year, but for me, it's Game of the Year.
Well, that's Game of the Year still. I mean,
So, quality-wise, I know it's not going to come up to the Horizon Zero Dawn or the Breath of the Wild, but for what I experienced in the game, it's Game of the Year.
why so?
And it's going to be hard to top that. So at the end of the year, when we do a Game of the Year cast,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be talking heavily about Hellblade again. I absolutely adore that game.
The only thing that's turning me off about that game, and this is like my pretentious, like anti-political life, is that like people are like, "Oh my god, this game tackles mental disorder in such a brave, strong way." I'm like, no, the girl's just fucking crazy. Like that's all. Like, let's not look deep into this.
I see where you're coming from, and I see where they're coming from. That's definitely. So there's two ways people have been attacking this game. They either attack it way too positively, in the fact that, as you said, oh, it tackles mental disorder. They're breaking new grounds. Oh my god. Applaud them. It's automatically a great game.
Yeah, that's
like that.
though.
To me, those people are definitely missing the point on what makes this game so good.
Yeah.
And then there's the other way around, where they go, oh, they tackled mental disorder. They're just trying to, cash grab on this, and the fact that, and then a lot of the game they feel is a walking simulator.
But like, I don't. The thing is, everything now has to feel like people try to put a political or like some kind of social justice spin on it, and I guarantee you, the developers of the game are just like, nah, girl's crazy and her boyfriend's in hell. Like, I almost guarantee that was their thought process this whole game.
So what they did, Ninja Theory was actually quite scared to tackle this topic, because tackling mental disorders in gaming or even in movies, movies, it took a long time for people with mental disorders or emotional tics or anything like that. It took a long time to break that into the industry, and gaming is no exception. We're just now starting to seem to be tackling those kind of issues. And what Ninja Theory did was they wanted to do it right. And then when you tackle something like this, of this kind of topic, that's why a disclaimer at the beginning of the game is there. It's kind of to cover themselves, warn people that they made it as hyper realistic as they could with today's technology. Because are you familiar with the disclaimer at the
No.
front? Because a lot of people either see that as or a lot of people see it as pretentious.
Like, but the thing is, like, even without seeing it, it is like, I don't think they went in this with like they had to do it because people would freak out otherwise nowadays. Like, I don't think they were really trying to push a message.
No, they were trying to make a good game
Yeah.
on a topic that's almost taboo.
Right.
and I really appreciated how well they did. If you want my heavy deep thoughts into the game, definitely listen to the last the Gamecast episode. Um, I can't speak more. I can't speak any more highly about the game than I can. I will tell you, Kevin, that they got a real psychologist involved,
Oh, really?
and 6 of his patients that deal with psychosis.
Oh.
And I even went as far as when I was done playing the game, I was so enthralled. It was like, man, what did it? Because you unlock kind of a behind the scenes thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they do things from like interviewing the psychologist and what happens, interviewing the people that suffer from the mental disorder, and you see why the girl's crazy.
Right.
There's good reason behind it, and during the game, I was like, man, this girl's like, she's nuts in way too many different ways. And what they did was they took like the major symptoms that all these patients suffer from and kind of molded it into one character and made a singular character based on that.
See, I'm not saying that discredits anything, but like maybe it's my mind where I remember playing what was it? Life is Strange, and it had a giant disclaimer
Sure.
about like depression and like if this game makes you feel depressed or something, like seek help. I'm like, again, this is me. I don't have any mental disorders that I know of, but I'm just like, they're just games. Like at some level, like I almost feel like we're trying to like force people to feel something.
Well, speaking of Life is Strange, that was also another game that got hit with a lot of scrutiny because of the way they tackled the depressive teenager.
She wasn't even that depressive.
Chloe,
Chloe?
the other girl, she was your angsty, self-destructing teenager.
She wasn't. I mean, she just sounds like this is just me, but this sounds like just any other. What's it called? She just looks like any other teenager.
See, to you and me, yes, but there are people that really relate to that game and that franchise now because now there's 2 of them. And I've seen mixed reviews of that game. I played a little bit of it, and I just couldn't. It's not the sequel's not the same game. It's not in the same sense. I wasn't impressed, but there are people out there that just went, holy crap, this is a 10 out of 10 game just because it tackles issues that they can relate to.
I mean,
Which is fine. If it's a 10 out of 10 for you, man, I wish I felt that way because that would mean I like more things.
I guess. I don't know.
What, you don't want to like more things? Liking things makes your life better.
I want to like more things, but I just feel like we're in this like weird social justice area where like everything's got to have a message. Everything has to have a deep backstory. Like if if God of War was released today, it'd be like, this game tackles deep anger management issues. If you suffer from anger management, please see a counselor. Like, no, Kratos is just a fucking angry guy who wants to rip people's heads off. Like that's
I'm sure
it.
there's someone who's going to take the new God of War game,
Yeah.
and see it as a message of father-son relationships.
If you have daddy issues, please see a counselor. If your dad is an angry demigod who's murdered countless people, like, let's just play a game, you know?
So Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is made very well, and there were some people harping that the game isn't long. I was like, I got 7-8 hours of that game, and it's $30. I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah, no, that seems like a just fine amount of length for what they were pricing. I'm surprised they put it out so cheap, honestly.
I am as well. I thought 7-8 hours was a full game to me.
Works for me.
You know, I don't like basing how much a game is worth just on how long it would take to beat, because you can beat Sonic the Hedgehog in like 4 hours. That was a $60 game when it came out.
No, dude, you could beat that in 1 hour.
Or was it 40? I don't remember.
I don't know, but I like Sonic Advance. I played that recently too. Forgot to mention that. I beat that game in about Actually, yeah, an hour.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, because, well, I mean, they want you to play with all 4 characters, but, like, the levels don't change. So I was like, well, I'm not
Okay.
getting anything new out of this. And, like, wow, someone paid money for this back in the day. You know?
Well, Sonic fans like playing with the other characters.
I mean, they do.
Discover
That's
new
fine.
parts of the levels, and Sonic Mania does something like that with Knuckles and Tails.
And that gives $20, though.
That is true.
And that's... I accept
Man,
it.
if they had a physical copy of Sonic Mania, I
They-
think that would
Oh, that
just sell
collector's
it for
edition
30.
didn't have one, that's right.
Hmm?
I thought the collector's edition had a physical copy, but it didn't.
No, because that's what you get a collector's edition for, not the game.
Look, man, they don't need to make sense.
So many of those are just coming with these knickknacks that you probably won't want even in a couple of years. You just want the game.
I kind of want that Mega
I think
Drive
the Shadow
port.
of Mordor collector's edition is only coming with a digital version of the game.
So, I mean, I'm for digital games to a point, but if I'm giving you this much money, I want something, you know?
I'm so against collector's editions doing that,
Well, now it's like...
or special editions at all.
yeah,
Just
but now
not
they're just
having a
filled with
physical edition of the
knick-knack.
game. That's so dumb.
I mean, it's better than getting, like, here's an art book, okay, bye. Like, no, does anyone like art books? Like,
A lot of people like art books. I like art books.
Yeah, but do you look at them more than once often?
For some games I do.
Mm.
Life is Strange I didn't.
Life is
I
Strange was...
looked at once.
Yeah, that game was okay. And that was it. Just okay.
I quite enjoyed it.
I mean, it was fine. It was just like, I wouldn't have played it if I didn't have Tina sitting there with me playing it. I would have gotten bored by myself.
Yeah, it was definitely more fun to play with a friend, but most games are.
I can't argue. I'm actually watching you play Jack 3, and I never got into that myself. But I'm like, man, if I had someone sitting here with me through this, it'd be way more fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, we only got like 9 videos of it.
I don't care. I want to see more. Put all 9 up.
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. It is significantly better than Jack 2.
Yeah, Jack 2 I heard got real weird.
We in the Facebook group we're part of, there was a big topic of a guy not liking Jack 2, and I made the comment, I don't see the problem. It's a bad game in the Jack series if you compare it to the other two.
Yeah, well, like, Jack 1 is like the outlier, which is the weird thing. Like, it started off as like a nice, cutesy 3D platform, but then it was just like, great anger, for no reason.
Yeah, well, Jack 2 had that like Grand Theft Auto thing coming on because it came out around the same time, and then Jack 3 tried to hybrid the two.
Yeah.
I still like the first one the most, and it's not even close.
I like most things about the first one. I didn't record a whole series, by the way, people. Go watch it. Shameless plug.
I like the Jack series in general, but the first one is just so much better.
That's true.
But I'm also a big platformer guy.
I do love me some platforming. I'm bad at 3D ones. And Crash Bandicoot, apparently. Playing that before.
I found the new one so much easier.
I think I'm just bad at games. I don't think any of them are easier. But you know what else is not easy? Transitioning to the Direct.
Oh yeah, so figured that, I mean, I'll probably cover it on the modern one, the modern Gamecast as well. But the Nintendo Direct was quite recent. Just about a week ago, correct? The
About
13th?
11 days.
September 13th? Oh, going on 2 weeks ago. Cool.
We're timely.
So Nintendo had, just like PlayStation's doing the Tokyo, the Tokyo Game Show was also recent.
Oh yeah, well, there's nothing that great that came out of that, though, to be fair. It was like stuff...
Are you kidding me?
I mean, it
All
was
right,
like...
we're going to go into the Tokyo Game Show after the Direct.
Oh boy. We'll speed through them both. We got things to do. Let's
So-
do this.
Kevin, go over the Direct as I pull up Tokyo Game Show stuff.
Well, the Direct. Let's see. We got... Where should I start? I'm going to read it down how GameSpot has it listed. We have a special Pokemon-themed new 2DS XL launches in November in case you need another DS with your 14 others. New
Okay.
3DS version of Minecraft. Mario Party, the top 100 is... I guess what that was is like they're taking the best mini games from Mario Party and putting them all in one thing. The only thing I don't know about that, because I didn't see the direct, is like, is it actually a Mario Party game or is it just like a mini game competition? Do you know?
Yeah, they weren't really clear on that.
Because the best part of Mario Party is the mini games, and Mario Party's been ruined for me because I learned that all the dice rolls are predetermined.
Okay.
So maybe I'll play that. Let's see. New 2DS XL. I don't care. Colors. Nintendo Switch World Open Xenoblade Chronicles 2 gets a release date. See, I want to play that because Chronicles X was dumb.
It was very much
It wasn't even in the same like vein of the first one.
It was more mecha based and had this big anime theme going on with shallow characters, shallow story. The environment was cool.
Yeah, but it was like
it just
20
takes
hours.
so long. It takes so long to get into, though.
Yeah, like 20 hours to get into your mech. Like the second my buddy told me, I was like, I'm out. I don't want to play this. Let's see. Fire Emblem Warriors adds fan favorite character. Yeah, whatever. New Kirby game announced for the 3DS. Why though?
Yeah, that also seemed pretty weird.
Yeah, they need a. I mean, unless they're actually going to keep the 3DS as the. I was going to say third pillar, but never mind. Switch adding Nintendo arcade game ports, but not Virtual Console, because I don't understand how hard it can be to switch over your 30-year-old games that are like a couple megabytes and just redistribute them. I can't grasp that concept. Like, just do it. Let's see.
Man.
Breath of the Wild DLC. Skyrim for Switch. Okay. That... I hope it's good.
Bethesda for Switch in general. That was awesome.
So, you know what? Let's just skip all the other things right now, because that's what we really want to go over. I got words about those shooters.
Okay.
Number one, Wolfenstein 2. Good move. I have no complaints about that. I hope it runs well on Switch, and I wish it the best of luck. Doom. I saw that being played on a Switch. And I've always stood by 30 frames per second, whether it be video or games. That's fine for me. I have no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, that game does not look good running on Switch to me. It looks fine in handheld, but, like, upscaled, like, the frame rate for Doom, like, it just kind of looks slow, and Doom, you want to always be running around, moving, and I beat that game on a PS4, and, like, there's so many things you have to shoot at and, like, punch and get, and... What was that?
I don't know. Someone's mad at you for saying Doom isn't going to be good on the Switch.
Oh, jeez, it scared the shit out of me. What was that? Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Doom looks okay. I can't imagine just playing a shooter on that standard Joy-Con setup with the sticks directly under the buttons like that, or directly above. Like, your thumb needs to curve in an arc. So Pro Controller, it'll probably be fine. But I'm very scared that they're going to price Doom at, like, $60 again. And I don't think that's going to be a good idea.
Well, they definitely will.
Yeah, but, like, it's old now. Like, it should come out at, like, 40. You know?
It's going to sell, so I don't see why they wouldn't sell it at 60. That's my looking at it. I mean, Rayman Legends came out for the Switch this past month.
But you're paying that Nintendo tax.
And that's at $40.
What
there
is
it is
that?
again. What is
Yeah,
that?
what is that? I don't know. You know what? Hold up. I think I have an idea. I think it's some alarm going off. Give me a minute. I think I know. Hold on.
Well, as he goes and does that, I'm quite excited for Wolfenstein 2 to come out on the Switch.
I want to play that. I want to play it so bad.
I wasn't really too into it when it was announced. I was like, okay, it looks cool for a lot of people. But as soon as it got announced for the Switch, I'm now all of a sudden interested.
Right, okay. But here's the thing that I'm not getting. Why is everyone going, because it's on Switch, I want to play it? Like, when the Wii U was getting third-party ports, nobody was like, well, it's on Wii U, so I'm going to play it. Like, I don't understand why everyone's like, well, it's on this system, so now I want it, and I didn't care about it before. Is it the portability thing?
The portability thing is a nice bonus. I I've found myself playing a lot of my Switch games just kind of hanging out in bed before I go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
The when you have that option, it's very appealing. Um, I just like everything that the Switch offers, and it's just another game for it. I have a lot of games for my PS4 already, and it's getting to that time where I'm getting kind of picky about them. This is just my way of thinking, obviously.
No, it's I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
In the end, yeah, it's another game for Switch. I want more Switch games, and that's great. I'm actually thinking about getting Rayman Legends, the definitive edition, as well, just because it's a Switch game, and I don't already have it.
I mean, I'm totally fine with people liking... I want the Switch to have games, don't get me wrong, but like a thing like Skyrim, that's one of those games where I'm like, I don't see why everyone is flipping this shit over it, because there's better versions of it on like PS4, Xbox, and PC. Like, you're only getting vanilla Skyrim from what I've heard. Like, it's not the definitive edition. Like, I don't think it's coming with anything extra. It's just like because it exists, and that game's about to be 6 years old. And that's one if they price it $60, I think is bullshit. You can get that game for $3.
I think that's just another case of if you can sell it that high and actually, people buy it, I don't see why you wouldn't.
That's real stupid for people to just buy it because, well, it's on the Switch. Like, don't accept that price. The game is old. Like, don't just... People shouldn't
want
just
that.
accept that.
So, in terms of Skyrim, people want that portability, and they see it as an excuse to replay the game again.
I just don't think people will actually play it.
People love that game.
I don't think they'll actually play it portably, though. Like, Skyrim is not a game I'd want to take with me. I want to sit, and I want to be invested in that thing. Like, I don't want to be able to... I can put it on for 10 minutes while I wait for my coffee to be ready. Like, no. Like,
yeah.
I don't see that happening. Like, I like the idea of a portable system that I put into a TV, but I don't see a giant, massive RPG like Skyrim being the game I'd want to take with me on the go. Like, I'm taking Breath of Fire on the go, and I'm like, I need a guide. Where is it? Like,
yeah, that way you actually feel like you're making progress in the 10, 15 minutes.
So, I don't know.
Going back to Wolfenstein 2, and Doom, as a matter of fact, I was on the PNG podcast back in, I want to say it was January, February of this year, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And, they were talking about all their high hopes and hoping, Bethesda and all these companies, Call of Duty comes out, and I go, look, it's Nintendo. This is what I was thinking. I go, it's Nintendo. The odds of us getting it, I think, are very low until the Switch is proven to be selling quite well. Then they might think about it, and then maybe, eventually, I thought it would take maybe 2 years before we'd get a game as mature as the Doom and the Wolfenstein 2. So when that was announced at the Direct, I'm like, holy shit, are you kidding me? Nintendo's making mature games again? Not to say that they haven't already, but I don't know. It seemed like something that was highly unlikely to me.
See, the big question everyone's asking, at least on podcasts I've heard recently, is Grand Theft Auto 5 coming to Switch? I'm like, look, I know Nintendo's trying to be like, we're going to put mature games. So I feel like they're going to be like, no, this is our line. We can't do this, guys.
I don't know. Is Rockstar even going to bother?
I don't know. They're doing LA Noire, and that is going to be a... How do I want to describe this? LA Noire, see, there's the...
Overrated mess?
It is, but that is a game where it's $10 more expensive because they have to put on that Switch cartridge.
Yeah.
So I guarantee that people
$15 more in Canada.
All right, it costs more. So people are going to go, well, why would I get it on Switch? Because I can take it with me. Like, if I really want to play that game again, I'll buy it on like PS4. And the digital copy costs the same. So that's kind of shitty that it's like $10 more expensive because of the cartridge, but it's still $10 more digitally.
I won't be getting LA Noire. I'm not interested in.
Yeah, that game was overhyped as fuck.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think you can even get it on the 360 or the Xbox Live, or Microsoft Store or whatever it is on Xbox.
Yeah, because Team Bondi went down.
Yeah, so I guess it's good for the longevity of the game and its lifespan. If people buy it, go for it. I don't care. I'm going to play Psychic Detective on the 3DO that I got.
Game's real bad.
Psychic Detective?
It looks real bad.
It's so awesome. You don't want to solve a murder mystery with me, Kevin?
Nah, though.
It's an interactive movie you can play and solve the mystery.
I don't give a fuck. Game's real bad.
Oh, come on.
What else was in that direct that cares?
Well, you quickly glossed over a bunch of games there. I want to go back to Xenoblade 2, Chronicles 2.
Yeah, I hope... Is that going to have Shulk in it?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. It seems just... So, when I first saw that trailer, and this was on one of our first episodes, when we went over the direct in January, I was very scared of the game being very bland. The story being bland, characters being bland, having the main character as a self-insert character.
Mm-hmm.
Where, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's most RPGs. But for something, what made Xenoblade stand out was Shulk was your character.
I kind of like...
And you felt like Shulk, or you felt like you were on a journey with him.
Yeah, I kind of like that better than having the name this character thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm still a bit hesitant on Xenoblade 2, the Chronicles 2. The battle system looks quite good. I'm quite interested in that. It looks like they're back to making the world more interactive and interesting. It looks like they did reveal a bit of the story, and it looks a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be. So a lot of my fears are being retracted, I guess, or lessened.
The question is,
I still have my doubts, though.
I hope it's good. I don't want Xenoblade to be a series that had one good game and then that's it. That's like it's a bad fate for any game to go down. Like Devil May Cry. Everyone says like the first game's a good one, and then like 2 and 3 were in, and 4 was garbage. And I'm like, that's kind of depressing when like people say.
I'm going to correct you on that.
I'm going by what I've heard. I don't know.
The first game's good. The second game is avoid like the plague. Third one's fine. It's just hard.
Yeah.
I like the third one. It's really hard. It's much harder than the first one.
Better example, Fable. I've heard people say, I love the Fable series, and they're like, yeah, 2 and 3 are trash. I'm like, so you like Fable, then? Not Fable the series.
Right.
They're like, no, the anniversary was good too. I'm like, okay, so Fable. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, wasn't that just the first one remade?
Absolutely. Did you like Fable for Connect? No? Alright, so Fable.
Well, I like Fable and Fable the Anniversary. Yeah, and I like Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider Anniversary.
Yeah. I got that on Wii. I want to play that version. I want to know how that works out. But
be interesting.
Yeah, it probably sucks. I found it in like the clothing section of a Goodwill.
Oh boy. Well, they definitely showed us a lot more of Mario Odyssey, and they revealed a
Mario has
Odyssey.
Nipples. He has nipples, JD. It's confirmed.
He's an Italian without body hair, so he clearly waxes and shaves.
Well, I mean, he's of Japanese descent that moved to Italy? So maybe there's something going on. I don't know.
I think you're reaching there.
This is canonical. I've looked it up.
Really?
No. I don't have that time.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Like, you got to show me some facts on that one.
Look,
show me your sources.
I'm sure Game Theory has a 20-minute padded video about how Mario is actually Japanese, right? Probably.
Well, they also revealed a bundle of Odyssey with the Switch, which I thought is a great move. I mean, that's going to print money.
I got words about that now, actually, now that you brought that up. I saw on Cheap Ass Gamer, it was I think it was $380 for a Switch bundle, right? So $300 for the Switch, correct?
In the United States, yes.
All right, I'm going by U.S. prices, right? $60 for the game. I'm like, where the fuck is this other $20?
It's the case that comes with it.
Yeah, that is not a $20 case. That is something made in a Chinese-ass factory, like, by some 4-year-olds, and they put it together. I'm like, this... So the bundle is literally just all the price of the stuff. Like, isn't this supposed to be, like, a bargain? You, like, save $10 buying it all? But, like, nah, it's just the price of everything.
Okay, so, yes, it's all the same, but you get the solid red Joy-Cons that are specifically Mario Red. And then you get the Mario Odyssey Switch case.
They look exactly like Splatoon Red, though, or the Neon Red. I mean, whatever it was, they came with the Switches when it came out.
No, the Switch Splatoon ones is a kind of more of a pink.
No, it's the red and blue ones that came when the Switch came out.
Oh no! The Mario one's a deeper red.
Oh,
yeah, it's a deeper red.
Exclusive.
Hmm. So, of course they're probably going to end up selling these all separately for maybe $5 more, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that idea of the bundle comes in. You get to save like $10 or $15. That's what I am imagining here. Their thought process.
Yeah. I don't know. Like that's one of those Nintendo sales. It's like, $5 off anybody? Come on. God.
And then a lot of the wedding-themed amiibos that are coming out with Bowser, Peach, and Mario.
Yeah, I forgot those exist.
Yeah. I mean, I already have a Mario, Bowser, and Peach amiibo. I don't need to get another one. I don't want another one.
WWE 2K18 is on its way for Switch. Blech.
There's a lot of Switch games coming out.
There are, and I don't care about sports games, but they're important for a system to sell. That's inarguable.
True fact.
Snipper Clips Plus, don't care. So that we could talk. I don't want to talk about the storage thing for the Switch. Ugh.
What about the storage thing?
People are like, oh, you need to buy a memory card. But I'm like, whatever. Like,
yeah, you need to buy an SD card.
Like, I can see both ends of the argument. It's like,
don't buy your games. If it's an issue, don't buy your games digitally.
Well, no, even physically on NBA 2K18, you need a memory card.
Oh, really? Now?
Yeah, you have to. So it has to. There's stuff on the cartridge, but when it gets put in, it needs to download more data for reasons.
Oh, so just like all the other platforms. Okay.
Yeah, but the issue being, it's only 32 gigs out of the box, and everyone's argument is, well, I've had to put a hard drive on my PS4 and Xbox. I'm like, yeah, but the day you buy a PS4, you have a decent amount of space to get going. Like, yeah, you're gonna run out. But, like, this is like, nope, you need one no matter what. And, like, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle on that topic. People are just going to complain to complain.
Yeah, and it's not like the SD cards are all that expensive these days.
No.
When the Vita came out, you could only buy
those
the
are
Vita
stupid.
memory cards.
You still only can buy them. That's it.
Well, they're hard to find now.
They're hard to find. There is a guy on eBay who's making SD card adapters. But they're literally just like circuit boards stick out of the memory card slot. I'm like, this is definitely going to break.
Yeah,
especially since it's on the bottom. So that's going to go real well.
Okay. I remember when SD cards first came out, and they were $200 for 8 gigs.
Merp.
You can get, I think it was, God, what was it, 100 gigs for $40 or something on Amazon?
Oh boy.
I could be overestimating, but the point is the SD cards are cheap.
No, they're stupid cheap, but the thing that's sketchy is that Nintendo and SanDisk have a partnership now.
Okay.
So I'm not saying there's some conspiracy of like we should make the games bigger and sell more memory cards, but that's just me. I'm throwing it out there.
That's probably just to get SanDisk SD cards.
Yeah.
To specifically have Nintendo Switch on them.
I'm going to confirm when it comes to the Mario.
And then they'll charge like an extra whatever amount of money because it has Nintendo Switch on it.
The Mario Party Top 100 that we were talking about, I'm watching the Switch video. It looks like it's literally just a minigame collection. So that exists, I guess, if you don't want to play the board game part.
Is it coming out on the Switch?
No, it's only coming out to 3DS.
Okay, because you just said Switch
Oh,
something.
sorry. Well, the Switch Direct.
Switch Direct.
I
Well,
keep
it's a
calling it
Nintendo
Switch
Direct that covered
Yeah.
the 3DS. The
I don't know
3DS is being phased out. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, it is, but it's like weird that Nintendo has like so many things still in the oven for it. But like, why not port these to Switch? I don't know. Here's another thing that I wish Nintendo would get their head out of their ass and do. Is, I understand that you have to put the Switch in the dock, right?
Okay.
Okay, to put it on TV. And they should have done this with Wii U too, because this would have sold 20,000 million more units. That's a number. The thing, if you have a screen up there and a screen down there, just put a DS adapter and like play DS games that way. I know you can't do it with the Switch because you have to put it in the dock, but if there's like if you got a USB-C extension cable or something, I don't know, this is all tinfoil, but like a DS adapter, like the Game Boy player and the Super Game Boy before it, people would just love to do that, and I don't see how they haven't done it yet. You know what I mean?
From what I've seen, you have to, in order to do that, you have to heavily mod the 3DS itself. And
No,
then the 3D function gets really, really odd when it gets on a bigger screen.
No, play it in 2D. Like, you know, have some cutbacks. You know, I'm not saying it has to be perfect, but like, if I wanted to, like, when X and Y came out, I was like, man, if only they had some like 3DS adapter for the Wii U, where the tablet was the touchscreen and the top screen was my TV. Like, it's leaving money on the table to me. What do I know?
Well, I mean, the Switch is here now, so
I don't know. I hope they can figure that out.
I was kind of sad not that we didn't get any Pokemon on the Switch news, but I guess they're saving that for another day.
Nah, Ultra Sun and Moon though. That's so stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like,
sure.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I get Black and White 2 was like a sequel to Black and White.
Sure.
But kind of the same, but like this is literally like Game of the Year edition of Sun and Moon, and there's adding so much stuff to it that I feel like I got real ripped off getting it originally. It's like the same game, but here's a lot more Pokemon, because I feel like there were like not that many new ones.
This isn't a new concept by Nintendo.
What do you mean?
Like, they've done this for quite some time with their Pokemon games.
Yeah, I know. It's just like I get when they had the third version, but the third version was like a hybrid between the two, so you can find Pokemon that wasn't in one and the other. But like, it seems like, hey, if you bought Sun and Moon, fuck you.
Yeah. So negative on Nintendo.
It depends.
No,
like,
but it's okay. It's okay. I see where you're coming from on a lot of these issues. I personally don't have a problem with them.
No, I want that Mario Odyssey. That looks good.
Oh god, I played a demo of it at Fan Expo, which was earlier in September here in Toronto.
How was that?
Oh god, it's so fun.
Like that is the one. So is it? Is like New Donk City, which is a real weird name. Is that like the hub world of the game, or is that just a world in the game?
I think it's just a world, because my buddy played that one, and I played the Sand World.
Okay.
And he said he experienced kind of like a fetch quest mission kind of area. Mm-hmm. That's what New Donk City is. And then in the Sand World, I was just screwing around, going about the world like in Mario 64. And Mario Sunshine is very much like those.
Everything I'm seeing makes it seem like the city is like an overworld. So
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know very much about that part of it. All I know is that the motion controls were a lot of fun to use in the game. Surprisingly enough, it was very intuitive. Mm-hmm. Flick of the wrist, flicks the hat. You know, that kind of motion. Oh god, it was actually so fun to do. I was like,
it's just real weird to see Mario interacting with like humans.
Yeah, I was playing with a lot with the motion controls during my demo. Playing the girl that was next to me is like, wow, you're actually having fun with that, because no one does it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is actually made well. It's quick reactive too. And it wasn't, complicated motions. It was just flick the Joy-Con a little bit and he throws the hat just like that. One of Mario's moves is a somersault. He just rolls like a little ball.
Right.
That is my favorite thing in the game that I experienced.
So I was looking at him flick the hat and use that as like a platform to jump across things, and that is real cool. I don't know why. It's like a simple mechanic, but I really like the idea of that for some reason.
There's a lot to already love about Odyssey, and it might... Yeah, it might... Like, that's the only game I can think of on the horizon that could possibly overtake for Game of the Year.
Yeah, unless PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds gets a full release, and then it's like everyone's like, nope, this is it. Because that game has been nonstop talked about since.
Don't even get me started on that overrated piece of trash game.
Or early access.
It's a freaking beta game that will never get out of beta.
Oh no!
They already make money on it.
No, there's going to be a console release, and they have to finish it for that.
No, they don't.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot. Apparently now, like, early access games are a thing that, like Fortnite, you can buy on PS4, like, at retail, but it's not done.
Of course not.
That's real fucking dumb. I'm like, well, then why would I buy? I don't think anyone should pay any money for an early access game. I think if you do that, you're stupid. I'm sorry. Like, you're giving money to a promise that maybe I'll finish this game. Like, I don't know. I think that's real dumb. I think early access means you should play it for free till it's done.
Well, PUBG is actually looking to... I don't know if they're going to sue, but they're definitely pursuing action against the guys from Fortnite.
Yeah, probably will, but, you know, if your game's not done and they put it out first, technically, you know, can you really sue them?
I don't know. I mean, it's a battle royal game. I mean, come on.
I don't know. People are weird. I want to play that game real bad, but I don't PC game, so that's just me.
You don't need to play. It's just like H1Z1.
Also, haven't played that, so
okay.
All right. I think that's everything about the.
Well, there was Octopath Traveler.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I didn't talk about that. That game looks fucking cool.
I played the shit out of the demo that came out on the Switch.
That looks so pretty. Like, I love the artwork of that game, where it's like you're this little Super Nintendo like sprite character that's walking around like this diorama.
Did you like Bravely Default?
I have not played Bravely Default, and I really, really want to.
It's from the same people. It's the same design and world mode. It's got the little chibi sprites on the overworld map. The story's very intriguing. It's called Project Octopath because there's 8 characters, and it's all about them traveling and each take their own path and somehow all come together.
I really, really like the look of this. Did you know Bravely Default's a Final Fantasy game, technically, though?
No.
They just dropped the name because people were really upset about 13. So they were like, we don't want this to be called Final Fantasy. So I wonder if this will technically be a Final Fantasy game.
Well, Bravely Default was an experiment to see if RPGs in that sense could still sell.
Oh, yeah, they do. They do.
And they do. So they made a sequel, and now they're making this. And man, it's, you know, obviously it's still in development and there was still some kinks to work out. Like, I had to grind 3-4 levels before beating the boss in the demo. So I didn't really care for that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, that's my only complaint. The demo goes far beyond what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be do the thing, get some story, fight the boss, it's over. It goes, so what happens is you beat the boss, and it goes, the demo's over, try the other person now, because there's 2 characters to demo. But it doesn't end. You can actually continue playing and going off in the world. It just cuts you off at certain sections of the world, so you can still do like a couple more dungeons.
So you're probably going to play this to no end when it comes out then, I assume?
Absolutely. This game is on my I'm buying day one kind of list.
This is the I need a Switch. Like, I need to say it. I know I shit on Nintendo a lot.
Well, this is why demos are so needed.
Yeah, they are.
You put a demo out like this, I'm like, okay, now I can play some of the game, and I don't have to, I don't have to waste $60 to $90 on a game just for something I didn't like.
So I'm gonna be. I think this might be like. I think this between Octopath Traveler and Mario. This is when I get a Switch. This is the move.
That's a lot of time. And then you can get Zelda somewhere down the line.
I already have Zelda on Wii U. I'm not buying that again.
Trade it in, get it on the Switch.
Absolutely not. It's a Wii U game that got ported to Switch, not the other way around.
I say it's a Switch game ported to the Wii U, honestly.
Well, they started working on it in like 2010. Or not 10.
Yeah, and then they...
11, 12, whatever.
Okay.
Fucking, I don't care.
Is that everything over the Direct?
Yeah, I don't got anything else about it other than I want to Switch.
Good. I'm glad two things came out and you finally made the decision.
Well, I gotta afford one first, but
well, just save now, and when the time comes, you can go get one. Because when Odyssey comes out, you won't be able to find one for months.
You aren't wrong. I guarantee that. Actually.
Yeah, especially since it's coming out around the shortly before Christmas.
But then I can get a SNES Mini. Lol, lol, lol. Okay, enough of that.
Yeah, no. So the Tokyo Game Show happened, and this is mostly just focused on Sony. There was a shit ton of mobile games, but I don't want to talk about those.
Mobile games are lame.
Tokyo Game Show is becoming like mobile gaming central because Japan's just obsessed with mobile gaming.
Well, yeah, you can bring it anywhere with you, but what they don't realize is mobile games are trash. So
I just want to quickly just run down the list a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop me if anything sounds interesting. We'll just make a quick comment over each one. How about that?
All right, deal.
Okay. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite from Capcom.
Definitely a game coming out.
It certainly is. Another fighter. Looks solid, but it's from Capcom, so it'll probably have a lot of garbage when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till that gets patched and updated and balanced.
Monster Hunter World.
I was excited.
Was revealed to have a January release date.
Yeah, I was excited till I learned that was an MMO. Nah, I don't care.
Well, that's what most Monster Hunter games are. They are MMOs.
No,
it does. Well, okay, not the PSP ones, but on
the 3DS ones aren't MMOs. What you talking about?
Well, no, on consoles.
Yeah, the Wii U, that wasn't an MMO. Or the PS2.
Wasn't it?
No, you could play it by yourself.
Oh. Was it confirmed it is an MMO online-only game?
I mean, that's what my buddy told me, and after
that's
that,
not what I was gathering. I was gathering it has a single-player story mode that you can bring other people into the same story with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, that's just multiplayer. I'm cool with that, but if it's an MMO, like I've been hearing, I'm like, oh, that sucks. I don't want that.
Well, now I'm a little bit worried, because if it is an MMO, then I don't want it anymore, because the game looks amazing.
Yeah, it does look really good, though.
But as soon as you put MMO in front of it, that just means that once the PS4 is over, so's the game.
Yep. That's why, like, my buddy's trying to get me to play Destiny. I'm like, I don't really want to, though.
You know what? We can talk a bit about Destiny after this.
Yeah, let's get through the game show. Yeah,
let's get through the game show, though. Dynasty Warrior 9 from Koei Tecmo.
It's another Dynasty Warriors.
It's another Dynasty Warriors. Dissidia Final Fantasy NT from Square Enix.
See, I don't know enough about Dissidia. I know it's Final Fantasy, like, Smash Brothers clone, right? Or is it just
kinda.
A general fighting game?
It's a little bit more to it than that. It's not very popular in the West. I only have one for the PSP, and that was good enough for me.
I heard that was like... Is it a reboot of it, or is it a new game?
I think it's a reboot of that PSP game that I have. So I don't really have much interest in it.
Lame.
I don't know what this is. I didn't remember seeing this at the Tokyo Game Show video I watched over the Sony conference. Itadaki Street, Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy 30th Anniversary from Square Enix. I think that's just a combination of the first Dragon Quest and first Final Fantasy game.
That's a weird combination.
I think so. Don't take my word for that. Yakuza Kiwami 2 from Sega, so they're rebooting the second, or remaking the second one now.
Do you remember when you couldn't find Yakuza games anywhere and they were super rare and underground, and now there's like too many of them?
Now there's now there's Yakuza everywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of going through Fire Emblem syndrome.
Yeah, that's okay. It's good. More Yakuza. I mean, people love them. They're stupid fun. That's for sure.
I just don't want like Sega to go, nobody's buying them anymore. People must hate Yakuza. It's like, no, we just can't keep up with them. Sega, stop it.
Oh boy. Detroit Become Human and Knack 2, they just put more video out for it. Whatever.
Yup.
Detroit Become Human looks interesting. Knack 2's not.
It looks better.
It has
than the first
co-op.
one.
It doesn't save the game.
Just looks like the first one.
Yeah, I played a demo of it. It was bad.
Nah, fair enough.
Gran Turismo Sport.
Yep.
And in VR. Give me it now.
I know, you're like the one of 4 people super excited about VR.
Oh my god, give me... Well, I want a new GT game. GT6 was bad.
Was it?
I wasn't a big fan of it at all.
Oh, why was it
just
bad?
felt like... It just felt like 5 again.
Oh. Alright then.
Yeah, but GT Sport looks rock solid, and with the VR option, it's another game for my VR. I am super hyped, and I hope I only puke a little bit.
Yeah, then you can have like 4 games for VR.
Oh, I think I have like 6 or 7.
'Twas a joke.
Yeah. Call of Duty World War II, they dubbed it in Japanese for the audience. They didn't seem too interested in it other than, with the prospect of esports, so...
Yeah, they don't care about shooters, especially not World War II. They're probably like, can we not, though? Because that was a bad time for us.
Another Earth Defense Force game. This is the 5th one.
Yeah.
Are you interested in it?
I played one Earth Defense Force game. It was pretty cool.
Oh.
The Vita one.
Oh.
I like it.
Oh, well, they're coming out with a new one, and it looks pretty good.
You go into it expecting like a B movie turned into a really
absolutely.
corny, yeah. Don't expect anything like...
It's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, don't expect like super quality. Just know what you're getting into.
Okay, so this is one I'm heavily paying attention to now. It's called Code Vein by Bandai Namco.
I don't know anything about that.
So this is like an anime style game with Dark Souls gameplay.
Out.
You're out? You don't like it? You don't like Dark Souls, right?
Yeah, I don't like Dark Souls.
So, if you're a fan of Dark Souls and you like anime, this game might be for you immediately. And you can't change the difficulty in the game. Apparently that got a lot of press because one of the guys at Bandai Namco came out and said, games are meant to be played in the way we make them.
That's savage.
Yeah, he was like, why should we make lower or higher difficulty levels when just play the game like this and get better at it?
Get good, essentially, the president said.
Yeah, it was a pretty funny comment. It's loosely translated, but yeah. Code Vein, post-apocalyptic world. You got all kinds of weapons. Look up a video of this game. There's about 20 minutes of gameplay that was revealed in total. I think even Polygon went over quite a bit of it. The environments still look a little bland of what to interact with in it. It reminded me a lot of... what was the Vita game? I can't remember the Vita game off the top of my head. It reminds me a lot of that in that sense. Oh God,
there's so many
game
games
called.
You're gonna remember. I don't have a lot of video games physically, so I can't look at my shelf and help you.
Hold on. Bear with me.
Freedom Wars.
Freedom Wars. Thank you. Wow. How'd you get that out?
One of the 4 physical Vita games I own.
Yes, Freedom Wars. It looks exactly like in the same vein of Freedom Wars, but now with instead of that. What Freedom Wars gameplay is with
Monster Hunter
shipping you to environments. This is one big world with the difficulty of Dark Souls, and even from aggravating enemies to activating certain items. it's all in that same sense. I'm quite interested in Code Vein going forward. I hope they put more into the environment to make it more interesting. You know, just like Bloodborne and Dark Souls, the atmosphere is there just because the environment's so detailed. If they do more of that in Code Vein, then it'll just make it that much better. Another Sword Art Online game, don't care. A drum session game,
How
don't
do they
care.
keep making Sword Art Online games? Does anyone play those?
People play them.
The thing is the name is deceiving because they all sound like they're going to be like online only games, but they're not. It's the name of the anime, so like people are probably like, I don't care.
Yep. More gameplay videos of Dragon Ball Fighter Z or Z for everyone else.
Yes, I want that.
Yeah, it's looking better and better each time.
Oh,
Solid 2D fighting. Bandai Namco's really hitting it so well with the fighting games lately. I think Bandai Namco's taking over Capcom and Konami.
Well, Konami's dead.
Konami's basically killed itself. They're going back to pachinko machines only.
Hey, come on, Metal Gear Survive is coming out though.
I'm pretty sure you just made that up.
No, Metal Gear Survive is a thing. You don't know about that?
No, you made it up.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
real.
I don't know if you're fucking with me or not, but
Kevin, it's not real. Just go with me on it.
Kojima's not real. He's just your dad in a suit.
Kojima's real. He's not involved with this fake game you're mentioning.
No, it's. I don't know how to tell you this, but Metal Gear Survive is happening.
Anyways, Dragon Ball Fighter Z looks absolute solid. People are going. The fighting community is very excited for this game, and I can totally see why. And then more stuff on Ni no Kuni 2. Looks great.
Should have been called Nino Tooney.
Ni no Tuni.
Yep.
I don't think that would work in anything other than English, and it's a freaking Japanese title.
I don't give a fuck. These are things I want.
And some, they went over more VR games, and nothing really stood out there. Skyrim VR, no.
Yeah.
The fishing game from Final Fantasy.
Did you hear how they ruined Skyrim VR?
What'd they do?
Instead of like walking like a normal person, it does like a Sierra game like teleport to things you click on in the background.
Okay.
Because they couldn't get the frame rate right, so you have to like do this weird awkward teleport when you want to go somewhere.
Huh.
So I don't know how that's going to work when you're in the overworld.
Strange.
Yeah. I think it's only when you're using like VR controllers, not like a DualShock or anything. Sounds weird.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
They did announce Zone of Enders remake coming to PS4 with PSVR support. And apparently people were puking their guts out playing the Zone of Enders VR version.
That doesn't sound good at all. Sounds terrible.
Oh, man.
Just because you
and then
could
Final
doesn't
Fantasy
mean you should.
Final Fantasy IX is being released for the PS4 in Japan, so not even confirmed for the West yet.
No, it's out.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's also $20. So you can buy Final Fantasy IX on PS3 for $5, or you can
or just get on the Vita.
Yeah, same port.
Yeah, same thing.
And then this version is like the Steam version, but it has like the mobile version's menus, and it looks real ugly. I'm not a fan.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Oh boy. So what's your most hyped game coming out of this?
Monster World, provided
including
it's not
Nintendo Direct.
Oh, I mean, I'm unsure about Monster Hunter World until I know what it is, so probably Mario.
More Mario. That's a safe bet.
Yup, I'm playing it safe. That's the story of my life.
I think I'm most hyped about Code Vein currently.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not what?
The Octopath Traveler.
Octopath. Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, sorry.
It hyped you up enough to finally convince you to get a Switch with Mario.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay for them, but I'm gonna have to.
The Code Vein. I've been hyped about GT Sport and Mario for months and months and months, so I won't even say those. That's I feel those are obvious if you're a listener to the podcast.
You're
but
kind of hyped.
I'm kind of a little bit, but Code Vein was definitely the surprise, and I can't wait. I hope that game turns out exactly how I hope it will.
It's probably going to be good. It looks good.
Yeah. So let's transition into our main retro topic, Mecha games.
Woo!
What says you?
I says they're real good. They're cheap to find, but man, do they're not age well.
That is up to you to decide.
I did decide. Did you not just hear me? I decided.
Yeah. So a little bit of history of the mecha genre in general. It really started with the whole late 70s, 80s fandom in Japan with a lot of anime, with robotics being so heavily involved. The whole concept of a person in a suit or in a super or a robot that can essentially fight like a human, what they dub a super robot. It all started in Japan during this age, and in the mid to late 80s, it was finally brought over to the West in terms of the Robotech franchise. Sure, there was some things before it, like Mazinger Z.
Transformers.
Transformers is one major thing that got people hyped on just robots in general.
GoBots.
GoBots. And it just kind of escalated from there till about to mid to late 90s. And that's when a lot more anime started making it over to the West in your Gundam Wings, your G Gundam, your Evangelion, things along those lines. Gal Gaigar, a lot, just a ton of anime, basically. And that's where the mech genre really comes from in a lot of these games. And you'll see that most of these games we played on the list, we tried to branch out from just from picking Japanese developers.
Right.
To kind of give
they are,
perspective.
They all love... I don't know what it is with Japan and giant robots. They just
I'm a big fan of them.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with liking giant robots, but Japan seems to put them in everything they can.
It's just something that just became popular over there. I mean, there's a big giant statue of Gundams over there, and
that's pretty cool.
They actually pulled down the old one that has been there since I think the mid 80s.
That's part of history. How the fuck dare you?
Well, they're replacing it with a Gundam from Gundam Unicorn, and it's supposed to be modern technology, just be all crazy, lit up everything, just be more modern. Make it look even more like an actual robot that you could possibly fight in.
I guarantee some American tourist is going to go over there, climb that thing, and try to get in it.
Is that a dare?
I'm not saying no, but...
No, I'd probably be, kicked out of the country.
You gotta get it kicked out of another country? Come on.
I'm not getting kicked out, I'm just being forced to move.
Oh, yeah, it's different.
I gotta make life decisions, man.
You've been gone too long. Trump might not let you back in.
No, I'm an American citizen.
But he's I don't know.
I don't know. He was in Canada too long.
Wall.
So a lot of the mech genre focuses around the part of you as a person are piloting this giant robot, and it has a slew of weapons and abilities. Now, whether it can be in space or on the ground, that's up to the atmosphere they've set in the game or anime itself.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just straight fighting.
A lot of it seems to be a mech thrown into a normal environment. How do I describe this? Yeah,
kind of like in our world.
Yeah, it's almost a lot of these games have a theme of this is a normal world with normal war, but one guy made a mech. So
or the mechs became the new military might
Yeah.
And that's what happened. That's the next step in military ability. Or if just to reference another anime in terms of pat labor, where a lot of construction machines were made into mechs, and then people started abusing them as weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's police forces then that are assigned their own mechs to combat just for those kind of instances. So there's such a slew in this genre of what came, and what happened to come over in video games is quite interesting. We see it with the Xenoblade series, Zone of Enders,
the very anime take on mechs.
Yeah, there's even a Gundam Versus game that's coming out, I think, next week for the PS4.
You want a real good mech game? Dynasty Warriors Gundam.
Yes, that's actually quite fun.
Trying to
I'm
find
not a
a
big
copy.
fan of that kind of game anymore, but because I'm such a big Gundam fan, that it was just kind of like I was kind of nerdgasming over it.
Yeah, but there's like the Warriors games are more fun when they have some random theme to them than like just being like Chinese warfare. And like Dynasty Warriors Gundam is real good. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I have the third game myself.
I keep
Dynasty
trying to
3.
find them. They're just like so expensive.
Well, now they are.
Yeah.
I got mine for $10.
I saw it and I should have bought it at 10. Made a bad call.
So, that's a little bit of history to kind of mold into, where a lot of this inspiration started and came from. And the first game we're going to go over is, we're getting Josh's picks out of the way first, because he's not here, and he can't defend himself on his games he chose.
The way adults handle things, yes.
Yes. Got to
Yeah.
attack the person when they can't defend themselves.
Exactly.
So the first game, how about I do the first one, you do the second one? How about that?
I'm into it.
Okay, and then we can each do our own.
Deal.
So Josh's first pick is called Future Cop LAPD, developed by EA Redwood Shores, published by Electronic Arts, came out on the PlayStation in 1998. It is a third-person shooting mech game. I'm sure that mech game you didn't see coming.
No. Surprise.
So surprisingly enough, this game was actually pretty fun. I'd never heard of it before the podcast.
I've seen it in like retro stores, but every time I looked at it on the shelf, I was like, it looks like it didn't age well. So like I kind of leave it alone.
Yeah. On first impression, it looks very unappealing, especially from something as simple as the box art.
Yeah, the box art's kind of ugly.
Yeah, it's this poorly designed mech on... It just looks like a body on legs that has a bunch of... And I believe the box art had just a simple like Gatling gun on the front. So not too much original design there. And when we go over another game later, it was one of your picks, Kevin. We'll go over that. How to truly design a mech.
Over design it.
Yeah.
That's how.
Oh boy. So I have a lot to like about this game, but there's a few things that really irritated me. And the thing that irritated me the most was definitely the no checkpoint system in the game.
Yeah, because you gotta make it stupid hard. That's how old games are.
So there's 8 missions in the game. It doesn't seem like a lot, but the missions are quite long and tedious. It plays a lot like Smash TV, and for those that aren't familiar with Smash TV, it's a very famous twin stick game, arcade game, in which it's kind of got this overhead view of the board, and enemies swarm around, your main player there, and then you just shoot in all directions, and that's exactly how Future Cop LAPD kind of plays, but now you're just in a mech. Arguments so far?
I didn't want to interrupt you because I have a habit of doing that. The thing that, when you said Smash TV, and I like you bringing that up, is that if this game had like a zoomed out camera and it was a little more overhead like Smash TV, I think this would have been a better game. Because at least I would get like an arcade feel out of it. Like I don't think this setup kind of worked for what they were going for.
Yeah, it wasn't totally overhead. It had this pseudo angle to it.
Yeah, but the world would rotate around you, so like those Smash TV controls can't really work, you know.
Well, yeah, Smash TV was a fixed camera.
Yeah,
This
now,
was because
this
of
did
the
it
time
that
frame this
way,
came out. Yeah,
but they were like 3D. Everything's got to be 3D. I think this
True.
would have worked well as like if they like not a reboot, but like if they did like an indie spin-off of a game like this, I think it would have been better. It's just like I don't know. It was okay. I didn't hate it.
I had a lot of fun with it. There was a large weapon selection and so much shit to blow up in the world.
Yeah, it's too long and hard. Ayo, it was just those missions took forever. I think I got to like 2, and I was like, I can't do anymore.
I got about halfway, and I just kept dying on mission 4.
If I had more time, I'd play it, but
the story mode wasn't anything too complicated. The LAPD has mechs now, so hooray!
Rodney King's pumped.
So the story goes. There's a bunch of rogue lunatics arming their own mechs with weapons, and oh man, what did I write down here?
You know what it reminds me of, like graphically, Twisted Metal.
Yeah, a bit. I wouldn't argue that too much. That's for sure.
They should have this character in Twisted Metal. I figured it out.
There is a co-op feature in the game.
There is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And you get a unique life bar to both of you, I think. No. If you play co-op, you both are going off the same health bar. And if either of you is destroyed, you both lose. So it's got that kind of Battletoads situation thing going on. So make it even harder.
You saying that just made me think of... I've been searching forever, actually, for a game me and my brother rented that did that from Blockbuster, and because I didn't play this co-op, I couldn't think of that. But now that you said that, this is all coming back to me. We tried to get through this game.
You may have played this in your past.
I think this is the same game, and because I remember it was like really hard, but I was younger than him, so I kept dying like crazy, and he kept getting really fucking angry at this game, and it was my fault because I was like 2 or 4 or whatever. How old was I in '96? 4.
How cool! There you go. Found a game of your past, and you had no idea.
Oh, this game made me angry.
Yeah. I didn't finish the story, though. It's just these rogue guys with their weapons, and they're trying to, like, fuck up a supercomputer. I mean, that's it.
It doesn't need any more than that.
So every mission's basically the same. Kill all the shit that isn't you.
It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't get terrible ratings. It got, like, mostly 7 and 8s out of 10. But it didn't sell well at all.
Really?
No.
Oh, I wonder what price of it is going for now.
I saw it going for as little as $5.
But it didn't sell well?
And it didn't sell well. That just means there's even more copies out there.
Let's see.
That's never been played.
I'm getting on price charting $15. So, it's okay.
Yeah. It's not bad. The vehicle moves fast enough, but the controls were very stiff. I did not care for them at all. It almost, I'm not going to say they were delayed, but it felt delayed.
What?
So when you're firing a missile or anything that isn't the Gatling gun,
mm-hmm.
it always felt like, I don't know if this was on purpose, but it felt like the let's say the missile cartridge was being loaded into it and then it would fire.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd be reacting super fast to being swarmed. You fire the missile and you could be destroyed. I found myself getting destroyed much quicker than I could react and hit the missile button.
It's just, it's like you're piloting in a mech. It's slow, it's cumbersome.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it's okay. It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit. So good. It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit. So good. It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit. So good. It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit. So good. It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit. So good. It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit. So good. It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit. So good. It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit. So good. It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit. So good. It's an okay game. Like, it needs to spike down the difficulty just a wee bit. So good. It's an okay game. Like, it
I don't think that's an excuse. I mean, it's a freaking video game.
Yeah, but it's also early 3D video games.
The 3D has nothing to do with terrible controls.
No, but it just means everything's going to be real clunky. It's a sign.
No. There are plenty of 3D games out there with good controls.
Not this one.
This one, I don't know if they did it on purpose to have stiff controls just because you're piloting a mech.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they just wanted you to feel like a mech.
I think that's dumb. I didn't like it, especially for a game that played as quick as it wants you to in Future Cop.
Oh, I didn't say it was a good excuse. I was just saying I'm getting in the mind of the developer.
It was an okay game. I had a lot more fun with it than I thought I was gonna have.
So what? 6 out of 10.
I'd say for a mech game, it was average. It was fine.
I'll give it 6.
Yeah, I mean it was fun.
Swerve.
Couldn't beat it. It was too fucking hard, but
yeah.
If there was a checkpoint, I probably would have played it to completion.
If I had more time, I would put more into this than just to say I did it. Like that, like Army Men. Like at least those levels were real short for how stupid hard it was.
Oh, well,
this would make me cry.
Well, I think that's all I got to say over Future Cop. How about Where we going on the next one, Kevin?
It's me. So then we got our next topic game thing, Tech Romancer, Dreamcast. That is right? It's next on the list. It was his. This game's cool. This game's real fucking cool.
When did it come out? Who made it?
Dude, you do so much research that I don't do.
Come on, man.
I'm trying. Hold on. I know it's...
All right, I'll save you time.
Yeah.
It came out in 2000, and it's a Capcom game.
Yeah, it looks like a Capcom game.
It certainly is.
Yeah, you know what? The art style actually reminds me a lot of Power Stone, so I probably should have guessed that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very Power Stone-esque.
But it's Power Stone-esque aesthetically, but unlike Power Stone, it's a pretty sweet one-on-one fighter.
Oh, I like Power Stone.
I know, I love Power Stone. I'm just saying, unlike Power Stone, this is like a one-on-one fighter.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's not like a Battle Royale fighter.
Yeah. Oh, this game's real fucking good. I love the, what's the guy in the white headband's name with the red neck? I can't remember. I was him the whole time, because he reminded me of, like, Ryu from Street Fighter. And
I played every single character for at least 15 minutes a pop.
This guy was good, right? I mean, they're all good.
They were all fun in stupid ways.
Yeah.
I probably had the most fun with the Evangelion type because he could do like karate moves. But actually, that character even though the mech reminded me of Evangelion, the fighting style and the character involved reminded me of Jack Jaguar from Godzilla movies.
That's all random. Yeah, you're not wrong though. It's just, this is like the game where if you ever see in a movie where you see people playing at an arcade and there's like unnecessary lights and crazy flashing, this is the game they're playing. This is why there are seizure warnings when you start games now.
Yeah, this is definitely part of that era.
This game's Japanese as fuck.
So if you're a fan of anime and mech, this is like a must-buy.
Yeah. I love this game.
Yeah. It's
a sweet 2D fighter.
So it's the pseudo... It has 3D movement with a low camera in kind of this 2D environment that reminded me a lot of Virtua Fighter. So when you put all that together, clash it with mech and anime, you get so many characters and designs from like Gundam, the Macross series, Mazinger Z. I'm going to keep saying both.
I always say Lord Zed when I talk about Power Rangers.
Oh, man. You actually level up your mechs as you fight, which I thought was really cool.
Right.
And in the one-on-one battle, you actually don't gain your health back, so it's the same sense as, say, King of Fighters.
I do like that mechanic.
And Skullgirls. So,
Skullgirls is good. I don't want to get on a tangent, though.
So you don't... So, say you win the first battle, and you took half your health of damage in that battle,
Right.
you're still at that same amount of health going into the second battle.
Survival mode. That's
Yeah.
all. It's like Street Fighter Survival. I just like the scaling when you're fighting in, like, what's that? I don't know if the stage is that name, but one that kind of looks like Paris when you're in a giant city. It's like all these little, like, low texture buildings that look like.
Oh yeah. They clearly focused on the mech designs and the fighting, and then have a bunch of low texture around and low res environments.
Yeah, it kind of threw me off a little bit, but at the same time, it was so corny. I was like, this is fine. I like this.
Yeah, and you can actually destroy the buildings to get various power-ups and health packs during the battle. So it kind of encourages you to also cause mayhem.
Destroy our low-res buildings. I don't know, I kind of like it.
Fun fact, the studio that was behind the anime Macross, if you're familiar with that,
What?
Super Dimensional Fortress Macross.
I know of Macross.
Yeah, so the studio is called Studio New, or New A.
What is with Japanese studio? From Software Studio New? Like,
So Studio New actually worked on all the major designs in this game. So it makes sense why there was a bunch of Macross references in the game. A lot of Macross characters. Every mech, its pilot, had either a personality reminiscent from whatever anime that they were referencing. And I was able to pick up maybe about half of them.
all of them?
No, maybe about half.
I'm surprised you didn't know all of them with all your...
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't seen everything.
You watch a lot of anime.
I do. So this game was right up for me. It's so good for me. Yeah, I even played a bit of the story mode. It's more or less the same story for each character, but it branches off at a certain point.
Yeah.
I did appreciate how the story mode you were always fighting a different mech, as opposed to what you would experience in the versus mode. So you'd always fight against the villain mechs. In the versus mode, you're always the hero mechs.
So there's a splitting war and faction in this, and it's like they tried to make a story for a fighting game, but honestly, do you need a story with this game?
I mean, you don't need one. I mean,
no,
I basically played just the versus mode the whole time and tried out all the characters and mechs.
Yeah.
But the story mode wasn't that bad, because even if you're so immersed in the verses, it kind of gives you a reason to go into that story mode just to fight other crazy-looking mechs that they designed. I mean, shit, I think it was the very first enemy looks like a giant angel from Evangelion.
I really hated that sand, like, what I call him, like a rock formation guy who's driven by the green Egyptian dude. That thing was annoying to fight. But it was real cool uppercutting him and shooting bullets into his stomach and then throwing him like I'm in WWE.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's actually a pretty good analysis. It felt like a wrestling game, but you were robots.
They should make professional robot wrestling.
They made a movie about it.
What? What movie?
Hugh Jackman was in it, I believe.
This doesn't make any sense.
Ready to Rumble or something?
That's just a game.
No, wasn't there a one where it was a boxing robot movie?
Huh. I don't know what that is, but I want to find it now.
Boxing robot movie. I forget the name. Let me get that for you. Real Steel. That's what it was called.
Oh wait, I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah, Real Steel, and Hugh Jackman was in it.
It seems like such a random role for him to take, but honestly, I don't feel like he gives a shit.
I don't know. That movie was pretty hyped, and I was pretty hyped for this game. I was having fun the entire time. It's so good. I think if you're a fan of fighting games and have any anime fandom at all, this game is for you.
I do recommend it. The only problem is it's a little expensive.
Yeah, it's like $100.
It's just a little expensive.
And I don't think this game has been remade other than on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, but it's really fucking good, and this is like one of those expensive games. I'd be like, just do it, Just get it.
All right, yeah. So if you have a Dreamcast, it's a must-have for the Dreamcast.
Except it's just really expensive.
Oh God.
It's a really good must-have, but I can't afford it.
Okay. So the next two are your picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's where the age shows.
Okay.
It is... Oh, wait. Which one was first? Yeah, Armored Core was first on the list, right?
Sure was.
Yeah, that game was not aging well. It's Armored Core for the PlayStation 1. I believe... Let me guess without looking it up and doing your research.
Okay.
This is From Software.
Yeah, and what has From Software done?
Dark Souls.
Bloodborne, lots of very
Kingsfield.
successful games.
Here's the fucking thing about this, though. The controls suck dick.
We'll definitely get into the controls.
You want to know? No, hold on. You want to know what sucks even more?
You want to do it now? You want to do controls now?
Oh, I'm doing the controls now because I played it on the Vita.
Why'd you play it on the... Oh, okay.
Because I had to bring it to work. That's why. And,
yeah, you're missing two key buttons there.
Yeah, I know. You want to know what the back touchpad is on the Vita? The L2 and R2. You want to know how? You want to know how often they work when you got a case on it? Not well.
Oh man, why didn't you remap them?
Because there's remapping on the Vita, but only to like a point. And then if I remapped it, something else had to go on the touchpad, and nothing else was a better choice.
So the right analog stick isn't used.
So
first of all,
well, the right analog stick can be used, but I stupidly left it on as the face buttons. So I was like, that'll help. Like I could just quick hit buttons. It doesn't make it any better. Nothing I did to play this on Vita made it playable.
You were poor. You were poor choicing your button mapping there.
So Armored Core is another mech combat game. I have more experience with 2, which was like do a mission, get money, and build a robot, and then get better stuff.
Same concept in this game.
Yeah, same concept. So there's like, as far as I can tell, there's a pattern with all the Armored Core of them being kind of the same game over and over. But they're all really hard, especially with bad controls. So my experience with this was like, try to get through the first mission and get money to upgrade my robot, but if you died, you lost some money, and then I couldn't upgrade my robot. And then
there was a high difficulty curve in the game for sure.
And then it was just a cycle of sadness because I couldn't get my robot to be good.
So you probably skipped over a lot of the mission dialogue.
I did, but that's because I was sad and I couldn't get my robot to be better. So
the mission dialogue... okay, so I have my notes and research on the game, naturally, because that's what I do.
Right.
The missions are fairly simple, from destroying a building to protect a building to... there's an escort mission in there. And what happens before each of these missions is there's a big dialogue box that comes up.
Right.
Because the game came out in 1997, so voices were not a thing quite yet.
True.
And the mission dialogue box it gives you a lot of hints, saying that this one has a lot of enemies. There's a new mech that we haven't seen before. It looks quite powerful. You know, they'll give you hints along those lines. So what you got to do is take those hints and then customize. So there's a big customization option in the Armored Core series. And then the first one here, what you do is you customize with weaponry and mobility. And mobility comes with armor. So the more mobile you are, the less armor and defense you would have on your Armored Core.
Mm-hmm.
The less mobile you make it, the more armor it is. So you can have something from a mech that can run around the map super fast, and you have like 2 big Gatling guns on the top on each side. Or you could have essentially a massive tank. But then you'd be vulnerable to attack. Right? So
right.
you kind of gotta make your best choice on the mission dialogue that you were given to whether you want it to be mobile or less mobile. I generally kind of stayed in the middle on most of the missions, although it was fun to be the tank every now and again, where you're moving quite slow and just to blow an enemy away in like one hit.
The problem is that, like, with those controls, I wanted to be fast and like move around and be able to like fight back as much as I was getting my ass kicked, but I couldn't find the balance. I don't know if you found like a good balance of like a mech to like be the best.
It took a little practice, because if you're going to do a mission with a lot of enemies, what you need to do is be a little bit more on the mobile side so you can move around the map faster and avoid fire. Then you would also need to equip certain weapons that has enough ammo to combat a lot of those enemies.
Yeah, because if you run out of ammo, you're in a bad place.
Yeah, if you run out of ammo, you die. It's essentially you're dead, because then you can't fight back anymore.
Right.
And that makes a lot of sense.
It does, but like for video game reasons, I hate it. Like, there's no pickups.
So to elaborate on the controls, what Kevin's talking about is R1 and L1 are to strafe on the PlayStation controller, and X is the boost. However, L2 and R2 are to move the aiming reticle up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So him playing on the Vita with the touch controls isn't going to work out so well.
No.
And the reason why it wasn't made with the right analog stick is because of the time. It was still kind of in that transition between the second analog controller button or option. So we experienced something very similar when we played Medal of Honor.
Oh yeah,
which was in a podcast episode.
I totally forgot that had the same issue.
Yeah, it was very similar. I did find the game took some learning as compared to when we played Medal of Honor, because you're forced to move around the map so much faster than, say, being a person with a gun.
Because you're flying around with a jetpack.
Yeah, right. You're flying around with this crazy boost system and having to try to pinpoint enemies with missiles or grenades or, whatever. There was a massive slew of options to choose from for weapons. I do want to go into some of the missions.
Like?
So, indoor maps suck ass in this game.
Yeah, because you can't move, and once you start getting on a flow, you end up hitting a wall, and it kind of gets you nowhere.
There's no way you can really dodge anything, and this was one of the levels where I chose just a massive tank, essentially.
Bad.
But there was one part where I got stuck, like in the Austin Powers movie, where I just couldn't get out of between the walls. So I was like, maybe I'll make this mech a little smaller.
The thing is, like, the only thing that would have made this game better, or like more bearable, is if there was some kind of ammo drops that can help me get by, but there wasn't.
No, because then that would take away the whole point of choosing the right weapon for the mission and having enough ammo. I felt like that was necessary for this game.
Yeah, but I feel like it could have been like, alright, these enemies don't take well to being shot by bullets as opposed to like explosives. And like maybe some trial and error in that sense. I don't know.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of trial and error there, and the fact that the game makes you worried about losing the battle, because then, as you said, you lose money. You won't be able to repair your mech anymore. That's essentially it telling you to, that's its version of a game over, essentially.
Get good.
Yeah, essentially get good, get more money, so you can power up and get past the level later.
Just like
I had to do that a couple times at the beginning, I'll be honest.
I had to restart Armored Core 2, I think, maybe 3 times before I got a roll going in that game.
Yeah, this was very much the same.
But it's harder.
It's harder because the controls take some getting used to. That's for sure.
Armored Core 2 still didn't figure out the analog stick thing. I meant to amend that before. They still don't know how it works.
Yeah, but the PS2 definitely was able to render it better, and the enemies weren't batshit hard.
Yeah, it's fine, but like that system came with a DualShock, and they knew the right analog stick was there, and they figured out.
From Software was still very young at the time.
They needed to grow the fuck up.
Yeah, they were still learning their ways. They're a studio known for making games hard on purpose,
And I don't like it.
and it started with Armored Core.
Yeah.
I did like how when you go and shop for your weaponry and whatnot, the buy sell price was the same. So if you buy a weapon for, let's say, 100,000 credits, you can also sell it for 100,000 credits.
I don't know how those guys stay in business.
So there was no depreciation value. I thought that helped. I thought that was a big help in progressing through the game, in getting the better weapons for certain missions.
It does help, actually, and that was a way for me to trial and error with a little less of a penalty. But,
yeah, your penalty is death, and then you can't afford the weapons anymore.
Yeah. It's just... I don't know. It had some issues. I wish it was slightly better.
Oh boy. My favorite mission in the game, as you can tell, Kevin, I played the shit out of this game.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. My favorite mission in the game was... your first part of the mission is you're given the mission to release kind of this bio-diseased bomb in a facility, right? You place it, release it, and then the facility is all gassed up, right? They're all worried. The very next mission, you're contacted to try then and contain it by the facility. Because you're essentially nonsense. A mercenary in this game.
A mercenary who has enough money for a mech because of reasons.
I thought that was so funny. You had one people going, okay, commit mass terror, just to be hired by the thing that you just did to contain it now. So as a mercenary, you're just like, yes, I did this. More money.
This game's... I get... Like, this is one of those things where I'd sit down for, a Saturday where I have nothing to do and just try to beat a mission and then find out the right combination to get through it. Like, I can see it being very addictive, but, like, the way I was playing it, that's a no.
Nah, oh, man.
No, not... I'm saying on the Vita.
Oh, well, yeah, on the Vita.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't play it on the Vita. Unless you can somehow map the right analog stick to be the aiming reticle.
No.
At that point.
No.
I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can.
You might be able to, actually, the more I think about it. Maybe I fucked up.
So, it's a really fun game. It's quite difficult. The learning curve is definitely there. I won't deny it. Mm-hmm. I will say, in my final thoughts of Armored Core, that the final mission is absolute bullshit.
What's the final mission, since I didn't get that far?
Okay, so, imagine every fucking enemy you've ever faced in one round, okay?
Okay.
Coming at you at once, and they deal twice as much damage as before. Okay, so there's that. Then there's garbage platforming that you have to do through a facility, and if you miss the platform, obviously you're going to have to either die, or you have to do it all over again, and then more enemies will attack you.
I assume this is indoors too,
right? Yeah, mostly.
Of course it is.
Yep. And then, let's say you even get past that, there's then two forms of the final boss. Okay? Because you can't just have one.
No.
Right? He's already stupid powered and overpowered in his first form, and then it just gets even more ridiculous from there. It's essentially one-hit kills. I couldn't find the right mech to battle at the final boss at all. It was already hard enough just to even get there with even half my health. And you have to do all this on a single life bar.
Could you, in theory, not saying you can just do it, but in theory, grind enough at the earlier levels to get more stuff to beat the boss?
Well, so you don't really unlock weapons. You can see what you're going to get.
No, yeah, I'm saying, but to get money.
Excuse me. I mean, you can get money, yeah. And I bought I looked this up online, like what weapons I'm supposed to use and everything. I got those no problem. Still couldn't beat him because the boss is so overpowered and takes so much health off you immediately, including all the heavy damage mechs you have to beat before you even get there. And it's all on a single life bar.
So you're gonna get fucked up.
It was absolute trash. And because the levels are generally pretty long, that's what also makes it really hard. So you can, I remember the first time it took me like an hour just to even get to the boss because I was ducking, diving and hiding so much and just trying to pot shot everything. I get to the final boss and he kills me in like one shot.
So this game's a bunch of disappointment. Fuck you, From Software.
Like everything up to that point, I had a small issue with the indoor maps, but the final mission is just a big fuck you. You can't beat the game.
Well, I guess so. I'm gonna stay away from Armored Core for now.
Why? Go play 2 and 3. I would say, if you're a fan of Armored Core, I absolutely love the game. I've never played the first one before. This was really nice to see where it came from. I thought the visuals for 1997 were outstanding, especially in terms of your viewing distance. Because usually with these old PlayStation and N64 games and whatnot, and Saturn, things have to load in the background as you move to it. This one didn't have that. Everything was already visible.
It was programmed well, I guess you can say. It's just not, I don't know, I didn't have fun.
I'm sorry to hear that, Kevin.
I know, I'm a depressing soul.
Aw. I wonder what Josh would have thought about Armored Core.
Show up next time.
Yeah, maybe if he was here.
Damn, shots fired.
Alright, so I need to move my notepad to the next 3 games.
Yes, let's move along. I got a sync to fix.
Armored Core. I thought it was good. I quite enjoyed it. I think it's worth a pickup if you're into the series at all. Because let's face it, the newest one, Armored Core 5, was quite disappointing.
Yeah, it was. I even knew that.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't own it anymore.
So, Kevin.
Hi. Time for...
What is this 4th game you have here?
Listen here. It's high noon. You ever had a standoff with you and a man trying to settle your differences in the hot desert heat? It's kind of like that, but with fucking robots. It's Death Duel.
Oh,
for
God.
Genesis. This game was fucking cool. It don't make any sense. I mean, the story is nonsense, blah, 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 in a world where Mexican standoffs are... Alright, so you get a mech, and you literally do a Mexican standoff versus another robot. With victory, you get money to buy new parts to upgrade your mech, which then you have another Mexican standoff with a more powerful robot. And the chain just keeps going. There's a theme here of buying things to upgrade your mech. But it's literally, it's a 16-bit one-on-one, I don't want to call it a one-on-one shooter. Is that a thing?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
It's all in a first-person view.
Yeah, you're facing another robot or monster, and they're kind of hiding behind a wall of some sort. And your goal is to shoot the weak points of the monster in a timely fashion, and destroy them. And then the faster you do it, the more time you get. And actually, it's another game about ammo management. Because if you run out of ammo for any of your guns, or the gun you need to kill a certain monster, you lose. And you're done.
Very much in the same sense as Armored Core.
Yeah, I actually had a problem with that in this game because I ended up not knowing where to hurt. I think it was like a scorpion thing that I had to kill.
And take its tail off, man.
Yeah, I was trying to take its tail off, but I couldn't find the right spot to hit. So I ended up wasting all my missiles, and then I had to keep reloading and trying to figure out how to kill this thing the right way. And there's also a human lady that shakes her bum at the beginning of fights.
Oh, she always has that extremely corny line before each one.
Yup.
And they're not fights, they're death duels.
They are death duels. I can almost hear McCree now. It's high noon.
Oh, that was what you were referencing. Mad Dog McCree?
No. McCree from Overwatch.
Oh.
But I guess Mad Dog McCree does say it too.
It's showdown time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, there's not much to say about this game. Like, what you're looking at is what you're getting. It's just a game about doing a Mexican standoff against another robot and trying to see who dies first.
It came out in 1992 from Razorsoft, which I'd never heard of, and I couldn't even find much information on them, and I didn't really feel like diving into it, honestly.
It sounds familiar, but I can't think of what.
No, I don't think they're around anymore.
Yeah, they're definitely not.
It's very much an arcade game port.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it has like a very the gameplay is real shallow. I mean, it's fun. It's just it's put a quarter in and then you're done.
Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous with the start. When you start the game, there's a massive wall of text trying to tell you the story of Death Duel
that nobody will read.
So I read about half of it and I was like, all right, skip it. Get into the game and I go, what the hell was with that elaborate story and intro?
Come on, you needed to know about it.
Just for one the game that has the most shallow gameplay on our list here. Yeah. And even when you die, it has a wall of text having this like epic death screen. You have failed in your mission, and the evil enemy will now take over the universe and use your corpse as like a stepping stone to the future. It was out of control.
I remember when old games tried to make them seem real deep, like deeper than they were for no reason.
Yeah.
That was this game.
It had a targeting reticle on the screen.
Yep.
Instead of like seeing the gun or anything, you just point the reticle at where you're shooting, and with the moving enemy, you kind of had to, anticipate where they're gonna move to if you want to shoot off their arms and legs, which you actually get more points.
Yeah, you have to incapacitate them before they move.
Yeah, because you're not actually fighting mechs; you're fighting monsters.
They kind of look like mechs. I mean, you're right.
They're more or less monsters, and you can take off body parts for extra points. You are piloting a mech because you have, the basic slew of weapons. You have your grenade launcher, your rocket launcher, your missile launcher, and then your regular machine Gatling gun thing going on. So that's nothing new from what we've talked about earlier.
Yeah, there's they kind of aren't creative with like mech weapons. I mean, there's only so many you can do, I guess. But it's only just like gun, laser, missile.
Gun, laser, missile. Yeah. It was pretty standard. This game didn't do anything too different. I didn't hate the game.
No, but it's fun for like the $3 you can find it for. Yeah,
it's very cheap. It was hard to find really any information on the game. You do have to... So you earn money by winning these death duels, and that's how you repair and get better weapons. So again, very much in the same realm as Armored Core. The music was very, very early to late 80s. Kind of the 16-bit rock theme going on. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, well, that's like the stereotypical Sega Genesis, like, twangy guitar.
Right.
But I love it. It embodies everything I love about the Genesis in this game. It's just like ridiculous concept of like over the top like robots with that twangy guitar. I was like, this like, I know Sonic's the Genesis game, but like this like embodies everything it was trying to like be edgy and tooty about to me. Its name is Death Duel.
The game has some charm, I won't deny it, but it's very shallow. It gets quickly repetitive. I felt like it didn't have really any replay value outside of my little time I played with it, because I never got really into it.
Death Duel.
Yeah, that's nice.
Alright, whatever. Fuck you too.
We didn't like Armored Core, you crazy man.
You didn't like Death Duel.
I didn't say I hated it.
It's called Death Duel.
I know what it's called. I played it.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, seeing it on the shelf at a game store was the only reason I bought it. I was like, yeah.
That looks interesting.
Yeah,
it's about as shallow as its title.
I mean, I did a related note. I bought a game for PlayStation 1. It was called like Space Hulk, like, Vengeance of the Blood Angels, and I was like, that is fucking metal. I don't even care what this game is. So, as you can see how I pick my games.
Yeah.
So overall, Death
All right.
Duel's okay?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'd pay $3 for it at least.
Not offensive.
Yeah.
So what are we moving on to?
So that's it for
here?
your games. Now we're into my 2 picks.
Is this...
And I did not pick a Sega game.
Yeah, JD's feeling sick.
You 2 picked a Sega game.
Yeah, you're feeling sick. We get it.
So my first pick was Cybernator on the Super Nintendo, and it came out in 1993, developed by Konami. So it's a Konami game. Hey!
Which is funny, because this reminds me a whole lot of Metal Warriors.
Okay.
That's Konami too, isn't it?
I believe so.
So are these games related at all, or no?
I don't believe so.
That's a weird coincidence then.
Yeah. They probably just ran out of ideas.
More mechs, more
Yeah.
guns, more Japan, more Godzilla.
So this game reminded me of Metal Slug quite a bit, just in the sense of its gameplay and its use of the environment and running about. It's not as pretty or has the same humor. Just saying it reminds me of it.
Right.
It's a 2D scrolling action game with an incredibly fun, destructible environment, and that's kind of where that Metal Slug feeling comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the controls were very solid. You aim with the D-pad as you move, but I never felt like that hindered me from aiming diagonally, because there's also the other option where use the L button to lock it. So you can lock where you're shooting diagonally, and that helps. And then the R button puts up a nice little shield where you can go dink, get the little bullets away from you.
I really wish the sound effect of this game was dink.
It would have been cool.
Dink,
You just
dink,
hear this metal tink sound.
Yeah, this game's cool.
I did find the jumping and the platforming in the game very hit and miss. The land where you'd land and its detection was quite bad at times.
Yes, and I think it had to do with a giant sprite and then like not knowing really how to make it work in the environment though.
Yeah, I mean it has very good art in the game. It's very reminiscent of that early '90s anime style. All the when you do see characters, they all got the pointed noses. So that's here we're getting more into this Japanese company, mech anime combination.
There's a theme.
There's a theme there. I thought the mech was way too slow for the game.
Really?
Yeah, when I play a 2D side-scrolling action game, I want to be fast, even if I'm in a mech. I played Metal Storm. That's fast. Why couldn't this be fast?
It's just... I don't know. This was... Metal Storm was also, like, the whole mechanic of it was about the gravity flipping and, like, reacting quickly to what side of the screen you had to be on. But this was more of, like, a straight platformer, to be fair.
Yeah. I thought the robot design itself was kind of shallow.
Yeah, it's not the most, like... I know where I was saying, like, you over-designed the mech before, but... this one was kind of plain looking. And know what I did?
Yeah.
I really hated? I hated the very intrusive dialogue mid-mission.
Yeah, the anime characters come on. Hey, listen!
Yeah, I don't need Navi in my games for another, like, 6 years. It was kind of, like, abrupt, because everything would freeze, and it's just like, search the understructure for a way inside Arc Nova. Like, I didn't need that. Like, if it just, like, flashed on the bottom of the screen and I could ignore it, that'd have been fine. But, yeah, it was
I feel you on that
it kind
one.
of broke the
It kind of
action.
ruined the flow of the levels.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't kill the game for me. It was still pretty good.
It was okay. I do wish there was a little bit more variety in the weaponry. I mean, it was very much the same as Death Duel. Gun,
Yeah.
missile, laser.
Gun, missile, laser.
But at least the laser was fucking sweet.
I don't think this was pretty metal, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So, overall good
now,
game?
my main gripe with the game was definitely how the levels were laid out, and then the enemy layouts. So what I mean by this is, you could be going on any level at any time, You play through about the first half of it, and you're like, hey, pretty cool. I'm having a good time. Okay, platforming kind of sucks from time to time. It's not a killer. There's not, like, freaking pits that kill you immediately everywhere. The enemies weren't overpowered. And then all of a sudden, you'd always hit this wall where there's something there that's going to kill you in one shot. Always. It was so inevitable. The difficulty spike at these points were so high, the game difficulty just got almost unplayable at times. There's, I'll give you an example. There's one level where you're cruising through space, and you have to avoid asteroids while avoiding fire. So you have to fire at the enemies and avoid these asteroids coming at you. And what will happen is the asteroids won't kill you, but it's a moving screen. So you'll hit the back of an asteroid just trying to dodge everything, and then it'll smash you into the screen and kill you in one hit. That's an example of these levels being cheap all of a sudden. I did not like that. It was basically a game killer for me.
See, I didn't make it too far past those stages, so I kind of wonder if they repeat that over and over, because
they do.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I looked up videos online, and some of these people playing the game, just you just hear them getting so pissed. You're like, oh wow, they're having fun, and then out of nowhere, it's just, what the fuck was that? And I go, that's what I was going through.
Yes.
Every time. The asteroid level was like the first sign of trouble to come, for sure. And that's why I use that as an example, to not really ruin the rest of the game.
It's a lot of...
It's not like you'll even get that far, because you'll run out of lives.
Yeah, well, save states. I'm a cheater. It's just, like, I know, and we had this problem a couple times, I know they're trying to make games about being a mech, but for video game reasons, I wish they would not treat me like a mech. Like, boxy and clunky and slow, like...
Well, that's the thing. They purposely made this mech clunky and slow when the level designs were made for you to be fast.
Like, if I moved more like Samus, that would have been better, I think.
Like, there is such a thing as memorizing a level, but if you can't move there... I was like, okay, here comes the asteroid. It's coming from the top middle.
Yeah.
Here it comes. I can't move out of the way.
It's
just the whole game was things like that.
Yeah.
I'd have so much fun for like a first half of a level, and then just get super irritated because it just felt cheap. Quite disappointing.
That's the thing. This game had such good high promise too.
Yeah.
Like, it was going so well for a while, and then like it kind of grades on you, and you're like, there's a couple things wrong with this.
I mean, it's regarded as one of the better mech games out there, and I don't see it. I see its potential of what it had.
They probably played the first 10 minutes and were like, yeah, this game's good. You know?
No. I can't get behind it.
Yeah.
I did not. Cybernator was a frustrating mess.
I would give it more time. That's all. I'll try.
Well, anyways, yeah, it's kind of a $30 game these days just because it's on the Super Nintendo. So,
is there a Genesis version?
I don't believe so.
Fuck. Oh well.
Yep.
And
so
now, this one you're gonna have to guide me through because I couldn't find it in English anywhere.
So we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So the last game we're going to cover is something I've wanted to dive into for years, because it is called Front Mission, the very first one. And this game is a pretty famous series in Japan, and the West didn't get a port or translation until English translation for this first game until 2007 on the Nintendo DS.
I think that was Front Mission Evolved?
No.
No, Evolved is the console ones.
What you're thinking of, it did have another port later to the PlayStation. Didn't come out in America. That was in 2003.
Oh.
And that was like Front Mission Identity or something. I don't have what it was called written down.
That's fine.
But it came out in the Super Nintendo in 1995 in Japan only, later to be released in English many years later, 12. The West didn't get its first Front Mission game until Front Mission 3 on the PlayStation. Front Mission 4 on the PS2, and it goes on from there. What it is it's a turn-based strategy game featuring around mechs. So think Armored Core, but now it's a turn-based strategy game, much in the sense of, say, Fire Emblem, or even XCOM. You could even go that far.
Which is why I wish I was able to read it, because I really wanted to play that.
Yeah, I tried to emulate the Super Nintendo version, and it just got a little bit. It got a little bit too difficult because of the translations that I was being forced to do. But I was able to get my hands on the DS version, and holy crap! So Square Enix knocked it out of the park with the DS port.
So the DS one and the Super Nintendo are the same.
They're the same gameplay. It's up-resed, much like what happened with the Dragon Quest games when they reported the DS later.
Mm-hmm.
Very much in that same realm. The core gameplay is still there. They just kind of up-resed and did a little couple more things to it.
Did a couple kooky things.
Yeah. So these aren't called armored cores in this game. They are called Vanzas.
Vanzas.
Oh boy. WAZERS.
Oh, please stop.
Yeah, it's got a very heavy German theme to the game, and that just made me fall in love with it even more.
Of course, anything German is, you're like, yeah, I need that.
My whole history in Germany and school and the language and work.
Everything about you is pretty much German life.
Oh man, I did feel the story mode in this was kind of lackluster. It was their first try at it. It wasn't anything special. Pretty text heavy compared to 3 and 4. I found, like, even more so, because at least in 4 there was voices, much more dialogue, but voices. I didn't have to read the whole time. 3 had less text, but a more richer story. That being said, the weaponry, the cover system is all there. It's everything you would want in a turn-based strategy game. There's lots of numbers in the boxes. That's the other thing about this first front mission, is you have a box and there's just a ton of data you have to go over.
But that kind of hits like a nice thing in your mind. It's like watching numbers go up and down, like where they need to go. That's kind of why I like turn-based strategy games. I'm like, ooh, numbers are going the way I need them to. Ooh.
Yeah. So, and it's very much the same in this game. It does it so well. But you really have to be into that numbers thing for this game in particular, because there's just not a lot of information on the screen except these numbers. So it's very minimalistic in that sense, and it could be overbearing. So you have your cover, your percentage of attack, your success. They even have like not successful. The animations were really nice when you go through the battles of firing. It's almost like watching a real life Risk. If the board game was turned into a video game in that sense, where you see.
Oh, they've done that.
Yeah. I know they've done it. So I'm getting people to like picture in their head. You have one robot. It cuts to a robot firing the missile to another robot.
This game's just real good.
It was really good.
It looks cool.
As shallow as the story was, I still had so much fun with it.
Yeah, but I'm not looking for this to be like story of the year,
No, I mean, we play games to be entertained, and I was definitely entertained.
I'll take it. I want more front mission around, but they don't really make. When's the last one? It was evolved as the last one, though, right?
All right, to the internet. Front mission.
I thought you did your research.
Oh, I didn't do the last one. Oh. Come on, you gotta chill. You gotta bear with me here.
This seems like a you problem, not a me problem.
In 2010 was the last one called Front Mission Involved.
Aha.
Yeah.
I might get a PS3 copy of this just to play it, mess around with it.
I don't know. The last one I truly dove into was Front Mission 4.
And that was
PS2.
PS2. What, American PS2?
Yeah, it's on. Front Mission 4 is on the PS2.
Oh, okay. So I can play some more in English then, without emulating.
And Front Mission 3 is on the PlayStation Store.
It is.
Which is a better game.
Alright, I'm going to take your advice for it. I'm going to see what I can get. So we got 1, 3, 4, and then evolved.
Yeah. So fun fact about why they call them Vonzers. You ready for this?
They call what you cut out?
Why they call the mechs Vonzas? Vonzas?
It's fancy.
Well, okay, so
Oh.
as you can imagine, the Zur comes from Panzer,
Mm-hmm.
so tank, right?
Right.
And then the Von means to wander, to walk. So it's a walking tank. Get it?
Yeah. Okay, I see what you did there.
Yeah. So you got to break down the German word that they kind of played on there.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh man, I absolutely really liked Front Mission. It was a pleasant surprise. I was a little worried that it was going to be way too primitive and the game hadn't really come into its own yet.
Mm-hmm.
There are cutscene events in the game, which was cool, but I thought it was a little overused because, again, that story was kind of too shallow for me.
It's
true.
Like, I mean, you're right. It's just like this is one of those games where like it could have had a really good story, but they decided to go with like the I don't want to describe it, like the over the top, like just worry about the action in the game. They're like, somebody write a story for this.
Yeah.
Anybody, and then the guy got too creative. They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then I feel like he's underappreciated for the story he wrote.
Well, what really put this game together was the high amount of customization for the Vonzers. So much like an Armored Core, a lot of customization. In this one, you can change out just crazy amount of parts to it. You can change out the AI computer system to increase your hit percentage or defense percentage. There's auxiliary like jetpacks, so they can go across the map faster or higher or certain areas. Mm-hmm. And there was a wide slew of weapons. It wasn't just the rocket missile laser gun. They had them, but they put some twist on them, such as you can put them into the arm of a mech. You can put it on its shoulder. You could put missiles in the legs. So
which is
that will affect the percentages of your hit and whatnot. You have melee weapons, which was really cool. So you can give them like swords and shit.
I do like the fact that
or just big hammers.
I like mechs with like melee weapons more than guns.
Yeah, and they kind of give each mech a simplistic gun, but there's different ranges to them. So your machine gun and shotgun are more of the short range, or the shorter range. Obviously, your melee is going to be like right next to the guy, and then you have your long range, which is like a bazooka and kind of a sniper gun. So it really set kind of a precedent, because back in 1995 we didn't really see a lot of this customization and design quite yet. It was much like what we saw in Cybernator and Death Duel. It was missile gun laser.
Yeah, I kind of like the turn-based. I love turn-based strategy games. I'm terrible at them, but I kind of feel like this really works for like mechs, and I don't know, something about mechs in this kind of gameplay. Like, I wish we got more Front Mission than what we got, because I don't think we're going to see anything after Evolved.
Well, it wasn't until the mid-90s when anime became big in the West, and that's when it was decided to finally, bring a Front Mission game over.
Yeah, but do you think we're ever going to see another Front Mission, though?
I think it's kind of run its course, unfortunately.
At least the Super Famicom ones are kind of cheap, because there's a lot of text. So if you have some way to translate them, you should play them.
There have been fan translations of the game that you can play online through like ROMs and whatnot.
There's many. If you got a Retron 5, you could patch it.
Sure. You could.
Yeah.
The fan translations are out there, but I got the DS one, and it's a lot of fun.
Get all
more reasons more reasons to bust out my DS, pretty much.
It's not a bad thing. I want to get deeper into this, but like you said, the translation I got was kind of me. So maybe I'll get a better translation. I can actually get further.
Yeah, if you can find, I was able to find it for $20 Canadian.
That's
And
not terrible.
So that's like 15 American.
15.
It generally goes for about $30 tops.
I can live with that.
Yeah, well, the game's long, and I feel like $30 is well worth it.
I'm into it. It's just why it's gotta be so Japan. I just need a better. What up?
So what do you say we wrap this up here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Yeah,
so running down the games, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna run them down. I'm gonna run up from earliest release to latest release.
All right.
So the games we covered were Death Duel on the Sega Genesis,
Metal,
Cybernator on
also
the
metal.
Super Nintendo, Front Mission on the PlayStation, Future Cop LAPD also on the PlayStation, Armored Core on the PlayStation. Wait, did I say Front Mission PlayStation?
Yeah, you did. I was gonna correct you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Super Nintendo. My bad. Famicom, Super Famicom to be specific. Armored Core on the PlayStation was where I was at, and then Tech Romancer on the Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite and least favorite, Kevin?
Least favorite, Armored Core. But most favorite, I want to say, I want to vote the Dreamcast one, but I don't at the same time. Just because I don't have the ability to connect with it more. I'm probably going to go with... screw it. I'm going with Tech Romancer.
Alright, cool.
I don't have my own Dreamcast to play more of it, so I want to be biased, but I literally can't.
Aw.
Yeah. I have to borrow Dreamcast. I'm poor.
Well, I mean, see what happens.
One day,
maybe you'll find one day, and you'll be able to get a cheap Tech Romancer copy.
Someone donate me a Dreamcast
with Tech Romancer.
I mean, yeah, if you want to donate me that too, that'd be cool. Patreon/ConsoleCast.
Oh God, GoFundMe. So my least favorite was Cybernator on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, you didn't like that much?
I liked its potential. I liked the controls. I liked what it did, but it was unplayable, honestly.
Was it just
it
like
was
a
unplayably frustrating? Very disappointing.
Yeah.
The game's difficulty spike is cheap. I did not want it. And I did not want to play it anymore. I was getting hosed too much.
I was getting hosed. Is that a Canadian joke? Because hoser?
I thought I was going to go... Before I got to that game, I thought Death Duel was easily going to be my least favorite. Because I didn't truly hate any game on this list until I played Cybernator.
Death Duel was cool.
Yeah, it was better than Cybernator. Because you could actually play it and get to more levels. Or / Death Duels.
It just takes some strategy to what's it called? To know what thing you need to kill the certain person.
Yeah. So, my favorite game is a toss-up between Front Mission and Armored Core, and I'm going to have to go with Front Mission. I was going to go with Armored Core until the final boss fight.
Oh.
If I can't beat the game...
No, I get it. It's just like, it's so close to being... It's just so close to being not good.
I will say it was lucky I played Future Cop LAPD first, because then that might have been the worst game.
Yeah, that was just... It wasn't great, but it was okay. Oh, I played more of it.
The no checkpoint thing kind of killed a lot of it for me.
If only it had a little more, leniency.
Yeah.
But that was the transition time when you were getting out of games had to be stupid hard.
1998, not really. That had already passed, I feel.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I'm copping out and going with the game I picked with Front Mission. Armored Core would have been the top game if I could have beaten it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Word.
So, Kevin, you have the next pick.
Good.
Next
I've been sitting on this theme for a long time, and I know you're gonna probably hate me.
Okay.
Ready? Brace yourself.
Okay.
I'm
ready to write it down.
I want to make sure my mic is in a good spot for it. Ready?
Okay.
Arcadey sports games.
Arcadey sports games.
I'll give you my 2 games right away because I have examples. So they're like sports games that are like, they're not just Madden, they're not just baseball. Things that are like over the top, like MLB Slugfest on PS3 or Blitz.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So
Blitz
unconventional sports games.
No, because that would be things like Speedball, like sports that don't exist. I want real sports, but I want like crazy like NFL Street or Mario Hoops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, don't
like,
tell me your 2 games. Don't tell me your 2 games. We got to keep people in suspense. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
arcade sports games.
Yeah, I want them to be real sports. Like, I don't want you to make up I don't want you to play Harry Potter Quidditch.
You don't want to play Harry Potter Quidditch?
Right.
Arcade sports. Okay.
Like, yeah, you're gonna like the ones I pick.
Well, with the hockey season about to start here in the next couple weeks, and basketball starting up, and the MLS playoffs happening, MLB playoffs happening. I mean, come on. Yeah, why not?
Like things like, like Mutant League Hockey's a thing.
It is, yeah. So perfect. Yeah, I'm excited. All right, let's get some sports ball. I want to do that. I want to do this. And because you can play sports games really fast, we might actually make a 2-week deadline for once.
Go local sports team or college.
Go Leafs, go.
Sure. That's my theme. I've been sitting on that for a while. I'm ready.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, it's very simple. It'll be fun.
Word.
I love my sport ball.
Word.
Yeah, I hope TFC clinches the frickin' Shield already. They need to win a game. They've lost 2 in a row. So
sports.
So that's something to look forward to. Excited. Good job, Kevin. All right, just yeah. Send me your 2 games once we're done here.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Well, this has been the Red Leaf Retrocast, episode 11, the Mecha games, where we talked about the Tokyo Game Show and Nintendo Direct from the month of September 2017.
I like it.
You can find us on the Twitter, at BowlingJD, at ConsoleKev, at PowerCord Gaming, if Josh was here and we cared.
Ooh.
Ooh, stab.
You can
find the podcast at a slew of places: iTunes, Red Leaf Retrocast, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Overcast, and more. You can also find it on the YouTube channel at Moosenspiel and VidMe Moosenspiel. You should go check out Console Kev's YouTube and VidMe channel as well. He's been playing Killzone lately.
I love that game. It's good.
Super fun. Obviously, this podcast is helped and brought to us by David's Tea.
Is there a certain flavor of that you want to push, by the way? Because you keep...
I would be pushing the Golden Monkey more, but they don't sell it anymore.
Well, that is disappointing.
I know, right? I absolutely love the Golden Monkey. It's a black tea. Right now they got their chai tea going on, and they got a bunch of different flavors with Halloween coming up. So they got like pumpkin chai, for example, and a whole bunch of other things. So go check that out.
Word.
Yeah. Is there any game you'd like to hear some music to go out to, Kevin?
You know what?
We covered, of course.
Tell you what, I am in the mood for Skyrim music since we talked about Skyrim on the Switch. I want that main theme.
How about a game we covered on the podcast, you fool?
No. Let's see. I guess throw in Front Mission. I like the Front Mission music.
All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and here's some Front Mission to end it. Goodbye, everybody.